Tonight is going to hit hard. I'm ready, guys. I'm ready for this. This is what we've been building up for. It's what we're excited about. We're about to get underway. I was almost a little bit late because I ran over to the Raiders headquarters just to do a little short video real quick because, I don't know, I'm just in the draft zone. I'm in the draft mode. I'm ready for it. Look at the chat. Man, the chat's already electric. It's on fire. Hitman's here. Louis Phillips hanging with the cat. It's time, says Max Sedina. I think you changed your name. Maybe I'm wrong. Dave S. is here. It's time. Can't wait to see who we get. Oh, boy, I'm nervous, says Richard Colby. Creighton Wilfong's here. He's here. The party can begin, and they're about to start the party right now. I got it on ahead of my rig and everything here. So I appreciate all you guys tuning in. We got Chief Latero is in here. Peace, y'all. BLK Rob 73 is here. M verse 1 is here. Defensive tackle with 25. Hey, this is I think this is the best year for all that smoke screen and everything. As we get to the end of the first round, you're starting to see all of these analysts not having a defensive tackle taken in the first round at all. Not one. And that's phenomenal for the Bears because if they are truly planning on taking defensive tackle in the first round, they're going to have their pick, whoever they want. They'll get their guy. Now, if they have multiple guys, as Ryan Poles, as Ben Johnson talked about, if there's a couple guys they really like, and trade back and still get their guy. The options are on the table. There's so many things. Blue Ezekiel's here. Let's go bear down, he says. The B Gizzle's here. He says, let's go. Realist Fufu, it's finally here. I know. I feel the same way. Oh, pause for a second. Doing the national anthem. Boom. I love my country, just so you guys know. America. Brief hold while the national anthem's going on for those who aren't watching. There's the flyover. Perfect. Let's go. Let's do this thing. I got two names in here. We've got, man. Oh, what are we doing here? We lose the feed for a second there while I was paused. What do you think about Lomu? I like Lomu. I just don't love us taking a tackle in the first round. Offensive tackle in the first round. But if that happens, that clearly means the Bears aren't really keen and clean with Ozzy's injury report. There's just so many things we don't know. Those guys have the inside information. I am ready, says John Bierwachnowski, 2911. I think I did pretty good with that one. Alan Eckerd's in here. CL 376 is in here. 1:45 a.m. He's in London. Appreciate you tuning in. Hopefully you got the draft on too. Jerry's Craven Cock is in here. Calm down, Adam. I can't calm down. I'm too excited. Too excited. All right. Fishing 702's in here. John Miller is in here as well. All right. So I think, in fact, let me just bring this up. This is a good thing to share. Share my screen. I don't have it prepped yet. All right. There we go. Share my screen. So here's what I wrote up. This is probably the closest thing you'll get to a clean. I wrote this. This is Adam's work, okay? Let me make it a little bit bigger because let's just make it full screen here. Oh, I switched me. Didn't mean to do that. How do I switch it back? Oh, what did I do? Oh, amateur hour. All right, so about as clean as I can make it for you guys. This is my write-up on Kaden McDonald. I said every year there's narratives that go around about certain players in the draft. My least favorite absolute stupidest take I've heard this year is that Kaden McDonald doesn't fit Dennis Allen's defense. Stupid. It's stupid. I'm not going to read this whole thing. You could pause it, read through it if you want to. But I list in a the most official type of scouting report thing I've done for a player in this draft. He fits perfectly for Dennis Allen. The biggest reason is that he keeps other players clean, and he's going to make it so that Dennis Allen can run his quick linebackers without being touched. Kaden McDonald generates pressure. He gets up the middle. He can also take on double, quadruple teams, and he keeps those linebackers clean. The Bears made a clear and obvious attempt to get quicker at linebacker. That's for a reason. Those guys stay clean. This defense is going to be churning on all cylinders. I'm really hoping we take Kaden McDonald in the draft right now, but you know what? It could go about 15 different ways. And there's a dozen guys that I would be really excited for in the first round of this draft. So, yeah, we could trade down. Absolutely. Levante, we could trade down. And I don't see him dropping out of the first round. Honestly, that's not kind of Ryan Poles' MO. If he trades down just a little bit, maybe to 27, 28, 29, 30 at the latest, I would think. I like the double trade down. I like trading down with Miami because they need a wide receiver, and then trading back again with Arizona so they can come into the first round and get their quarterback Ty Simpson. I don't know if we'll trade farther than maybe a couple of spots. I think someone's trying to bait me here. I'm not a fan. If that's the pick, I'm not a big fan of that. I think my one sleeper take that I'm going to put out there, I kind of put it on Twitter a little bit. It's what nobody's expecting. I don't think the Bears take an edge until day 3, and it's going to piss a ton of Bears fans off. I think they take Mikhail Kamara at pick 129. That's what I think, from Indiana. I think they take Mikhail Kamara. I think we go defensive tackle round 1. We go safety and center round 2, and possibly even cornerback mixed in there as well. Edge, possibly Dennis Sutton in the second round, but I really think they're going to prioritize some other things ahead of taking edge in round 1 or 2 this year. He could slip into 89. We'll see. Anyways, that's my hot take. My take that's not real popular at all. That's a take that many people will not be on board with. So let me remove this. What we'll be doing in this draft, everybody, Nick and I talked about me not doing a draft tonight, being on his show. He talked about being on my show. Carl's enjoying the draft on his own. BCP and I were potentially going to do something together. I decided just to flow this thing solo. We've done so much work into it. So you got me. We're going to pull up Dane Brugler's The Athletic, pull up the profile of the players that are picked. And here in a second, I'll bring up NFL.com's, draft board so you guys can see that too. And then we're just going to flow this thing as it goes. And as we get to 25, we're all going to be on the edge of our seats. But there will be some trades. There's trades every single year. Ryan Poles is notorious for making multiple trades every year. So I think 60 is probably going to be the prime candidate to be able to trade back from 60 and pick up that day 3 capital, either a 4th or a 5th rounder from trading back from 60. That's my initial reaction to which one would be traded, but I wouldn't be shocked if we trade from 25 to like 27 to 30 range, somewhere in that range. And then again, from 60 back again. I can see us trading up with 57 though. I can see that happening if they fall in love with, if they love Keontae Scott. There's 2 players the Bears had 15-minute combine interviews with and top 30 visits. That's worth noting. That means they wanted to spend extra time with this player. They did that with both Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze as well. And I'm wearing the Rome jersey tonight to rep Rome because I think he's getting crapped on. I hate when we crap on our own players. So Keontae Scott was that one. I like trading Stukes a little more. I think the Bears like Keontae Scott more than they like trading Stukes. And I think Keontae Scott's the prime guy for the Bears to trade up from 57 to try to snag. Somewhere in that late 40s range is something I can see the Bears doing. And then Kaden McDonald's the other one. They had a combine 15-minute interview and a top 30 visit as well. All right. Levante says, my hot takes: 1, Bears will take 2 defensive ends in the draft, and there will be a wide receiver taken high in the first 3 rounds. I can see wide receiver at 89 as well. Sean Stribling from Mississippi, the one the Bears brought in. He fits too perfectly with the Bears system, quick and still has that size. I can see that. I can see that too. I am way past my prime to be drafted by the Bears, and I'm way out of shape. Guys, this takes a toll. Like, as soon as the draft ends and as soon as we get through undrafted free agency and as soon as the roster's put together for 90-man, I got to get back on the workout regimen. I have gained – if you see the videos from 6 months ago to now, there is some serious weight gainage that I've gone through. Yeah, I heard this. I don't know if this is like a joke that was running around or if it's true, but Heinz has created a Heinz jacket for number 57 and a lifetime supply of Heinz ketchup for whoever gets picked at 57th. I think I saw that somewhere. So that's funny if that is true. Yeah, buddy's trying to call me right now. They don't know I'm live. Let's go. So let me get NFL Network popped up here for the tracker. NFL.com. We'll get that on the board as this thing starts because it's about to start right now. Bear with me 1 second. All right, we'll pull this up. Here we go. Pop that up. Share screen. NFL draft. Share that. All right. So the Raiders will be on the clock here in just a minute. Looks like the draft's about to start to 2 minutes and 42 seconds. I got it on the screen up there, but we're going to have it tracked right here too. All right. Tell me in the chat. Let's actually take a poll. Give me some names of who you guys want to see at 25 or trade down. Tell me what you want to see, and then we'll put a poll of what everybody wants before we get this thing started. I'm up for it, Richard. I'm up for that friendly competition. Yeah, I don't care if you get the picks before I do and you want to spoil it. Rock it, man. I don't think anybody cares who other teams take. If they trade up or the Bears trade up, that would be different. All right, about 1 minute and 43 seconds away. We're about 4:58 my time, 6:58 your guys' time in Chicago for those who are in Chicago. Zion Young, we got a couple people saying they want Zion Young. I wouldn't hate Zion Young. I'm not the biggest fan of the Zion Young pick. He's too inconsistent. All right, I got to get to the actual channel. This might have a little noise for half. There we go. Take that off. We're going to pop out. We're going to create a chat. All right. Peter Woods. I've been high on Peter Woods for sure. All right, let's go with this. Let's start a poll before the draft starts. Who's your favorite pick? I don't think there's any shot Dylan Thieneman will be there, so I'm not going to allow it to be on there. But, man, if Dylan Thieneman falls, I'm totally good with that one. We're going to go Kaden McDonald. We're going to go Peter Woods. Let's see what else we got here. I'll take Diana Rossini at 25. That is getting so crazy out of hand now. Like the stuff that's coming up, her son being named Michael, potentially being Mike Vrabel's son, like all the stuff. That is a mess, man. The interviews that are popping up between the two of them, it's dirty. It's dirty. It's dirty. Trade back. I'm trying to look for any other options. I think there's a couple people putting some offensive tackles, so I'm going to put off. Let's go. I got a couple Zion. Let's go with defensive end. All right, let's start that poll and see what you guys think. Pop out the chat. Get back here. Move that off of there. Yeah, Peter Woods kind of fits my fancy because of the whole 3-tech, getting a guy that purely pins his nose back. But if you go read my write-up on Kaden McDonald, like the fact that he can fix the run, he can stop like anybody from getting to the second level and getting to our linebackers. Our linebackers stay free and open, and the linebackers are able to do their job and be quick and explosive. I totally am stoked about Kaden McDonald if that happens. The chat's going to get taken over by the Diana Rossini and Mike Vrabel conversation. But hey, that's what's going on right now, so it's crazy out there. Here's Fernando Mendoza. I got to take one of these off my ear so I can hear the channel too. Teams that have 2 picks, you've got the Cowboys, you got the Jets, you got, man, there's a lot of them. Why is my mind spacing right now? We can run through right here and just look real quick. You got the Jets, you got, let's see, Dolphins have 2. Swear there was one more that had 2. Maybe that's it though. Dolphins, Jets, Cowboys, Giants. Yeah, the Giants have 2. Sorry about that. 2 in the top 10. Yeah, so those 4 teams have 2 each. All right, they're going to start it up right here. Pittsburgh, terrible towels being waved. Let's get it on. Guys, this is ecstatic for me. This is what we build up for. And I'm going to be honest, I was getting worn down. I got sick that last week. I didn't really make too many videos the last week. I was pounding it the first couple months of off season. And then, man, we're here. It's finally here. Chiefs have 2? I didn't catch that. Screw the Chiefs. They do. Number 9 and number 29. That's right. So there's 5 teams that have. Good catch. I should have known that. Cleveland. Man, I'm not on it with those teams. Screw them. I don't care about anybody that Bears, though. There you go. There's 2 for Cleveland. All right, Commissioner's up there. He's on the stage opening up the draft. You know, as soon as the new stadium's built, that they'll have the draft hosted in Chicago for sure. I went when it was hosted here in Vegas. I went. If those who don't know, I live in Vegas. I just barely ran down. I'm blocks away from the Vegas headquarters. And yeah, I went to the draft here. It was fun. It's not the same as watch. I mean, it's a different experience, but it was a lot of fun. It's probably going to take about an hour and a half to get to pick number 25 would be my guess. Yeah, booing the commissioner is a rite of passage there for the draft. Got to boo him. You know who doesn't have any picks? The Packers. No first-round picks for the Packers. Yeah, let's get it rolling to where it actually starts. Everybody knows they're taking Mendoza. Yeah, they're shortening the time. What is it? I got to look it up real quick. How much time between each pick in the NFL draft? It changed this year. I know the later rounds will be the ones that are impacted the most. In the 2026 draft, teams have 8 minutes for first-round picks, 7 minutes for second-round picks, 5 minutes for rounds 3 through 6, and 4 minutes in the 7th round. So it is reduced from 10 minutes to 8 minutes in the first round. That's the one that impacts. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it was 10 minutes in the past from everything I remember. This is the 3rd year we're covering the draft on this channel. This is wild. It's wild, wild. Hey, you guys were on it. Look at all you guys. 8 minutes, 8 minutes, 8 minutes. 8 minutes. You guys are solid. You guys are on it. My favorite first pick is actually defensive back. So I don't know if you guys saw, but Mike Vrabel will be hosting the press conference after if the Patriots select in the first round. Is what they said. And if they don't select in the first round, he won't be. So it's an added incentive for Vrabel for the Patriots to trade out of the first round, so they don't have to have him on stage taking his lickings. Let's make this a little bit bigger. We don't need all that side stuff. We just need the teams and who they're picking. All right. They've always got the pregame, the pre-stuff ahead of time. They've always got the stuff beforehand. Yeah, it was 10 minutes. I'm pretty sure it was 10 minutes. Thanks for verifying that. Man, what Kevin White could have been, what he could have been. So much potential, just the injury. All right, draft is open. Raiders are on the clock, so 8 minutes from right now. 7:55, 54, 53, 52, 51. I would assume they won't take the entire 8 minutes, but the NFL likes them to. They like to build up. So let's see, 8 minutes times 7 picks would be an hour. So we might be 3 hours into this before the Bears pick, realistically. For those who are interested in timing. I've been pounding the table for that. I would like to see Tyreek Stevenson move to safety. I think that'd be a good move for him. Yeah. Yeah. Let's see what the consensus is here for you guys on this poll. I think everybody wants to trade back. Look at that. We've got 75 votes. That's pretty solid. 75 votes in. Right now, 39% trade back, 32% Kaden McDonald, 20% Peter Woods, 9% defensive end. I think a trade back is very possible if the right team wants to trade up. If we want to look at the big board real quick. Where did they have the... That's where they had prospects right here, prospects. So if you're looking right here in this range where the Bears will be picking, maybe a team wants to trade up for Omar Cooper, and maybe a team that needs a tackle more than us, maybe a team that wants to, steal one of these guys, Monroe Freeling. These aren't definitely in the best order. What is this organized by? Total grade by them. So that's just their grade. Zoom this back in so we're just on the clock. I think Fernando Mendoza is the only given in this draft so far. And then, let's see. Oops. Trying to play around with this and make me just slightly bigger. We'll play around with it later. I think Fernando Mendoza is the only given first overall. Second, the Jets, they could take Arvell Reese, David Bailey. David Bailey is probably my favorite overall prospect in this draft. If the Bears had an opportunity to take David Bailey, that's a no-brainer. I think he's very game-changing defensive end. Yeah, all you guys who are tuned in and hanging out, this is very laid back. This is not your Adam normal informative. I'm not going to have a ton of stuff. I'm going to bring up Dane Brugler's the Beast for player prospect profiles when someone's drafted. But other than that, this is not going to be in-depth stuff. This is just going to be following the draft, enjoying it, seeing who we get. And if something fun happens, like a trade down or a trade back or a trade up, we're all here for it. It's going to be fun. We're getting the biggest thing. We're getting closer to filling out that 90-man roster, and then we're closer to the actual football starting back up, to getting back to football. Remember, these guys are just prospects. These guys are just potential guys that add to the roster. We filled out the roster, and now we add to it with 23 more guys left to fill into the roster. So today, tomorrow, Saturday, and then Saturday, as soon as the draft is over, I'll have a whole thing on undrafted free agents we sign, because we're going to sign a slew of them this year. There will be a bunch of undrafted free agents that we sign. So there's going to be a lot of action here in the next couple of days. The roster is going to get filled out. Bear it down. If you haven't hit that like button, hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hit it up. Hit it up. I didn't know he wasn't. Why isn't Tom Brady in the Raiders draft room? I don't know. I texted Carl. Here, I'll send you the picture I texted. Texted Carl a picture when I was down there. That's the Raiders practice or the Raiders headquarters. I was just down there. Texted him that and I said, what would you give me to jump the fence? Obviously, I don't want to get arrested, so I'm not jumping the fence, but I was real tempted. Real tempted. Yeah, let's go. Pump up those likes, guys. Pump up those likes. Pick is in. This is going to be a no-brainer. No one's going to be shocked by this one. Pick is in for the Raiders. They'll announce it here in just a second. All you guys jumping in. Jeff Potter, Antmus, Ryan Sawicki, Ryan Sawicki, 3620. Oh, they showed the drafter? No, right there. Yeah, they're showing it again. Yeah, I don't see Tom Brady in there. Ooh, yeah. You can do it any way you like. Hit like, smash it, or gently caress it. Gently caress it. Adam, to be honest with you, I really don't care which players the pick as long as they're convinced on each one. We have a real coaching staff. I completely agree with that. If you guys watched the episode with me and Nick Rohde last night, that's kind of we talked for about 20 minutes before we made the episode, and we were both them. It's such a good feeling, like to feel like you're genuinely on the right path with this franchise, that we can be competing, winning the division and competing deep into the NFC Championship, into the Super Bowl for the next decade. Like that's I have been striving for this. Like I've been longing for it for a long time, and we're there. So, all right. So he just announced, Roger Gale just announced that it is Fernando Mendoza. You saw it on the screen before that. So NFL.com is ahead of that. So for no shocker. Fernando Mendoza is taken as the first overall pick. Now we get some fun. I want to see where Jordan Love gets taken, because I was very vocal last year. I did not believe Ashton Jeanty was a true, and I don't say don't take any running back in the first round unless you're a playoff team. Unless you're a playoff team that made the play and you need that complementary piece to get over that hump. You don't take the running back in the first round. So I can see, picks 23, 22, 24. Jeremiah Love is a little bit different. I've got him graded way higher than I had Ashton Jeanty graded. I think a team is smart to take him, especially if they have 2 picks in the first round. I think the one that makes the most sense is the Giants, but the Giants took Cam Scatterbo last year. So I have no insider information this year. I got nothing. I did last year for those who were – I actually, for the first time, I have a connection to Coach Eric Bieniemy. Eric Bieniemy is no longer with the Bears, but I had a connection last year. There's one big false rumor that went out there last year. When we were picking at 39 last year, people thought we were trying to trade up to 28 with the Patriots to try to get Travion Henderson. That is not true. Not true whatsoever. The Bears were trying to trade up to get Luther Burden. They were trying to trade up one spot to secure Luther Burden because they didn't want the Patriots taking Luther Burden because they knew he was that good of a talent. And then in the 4th round, the Bears were all in on taking Cam Scatterbo. They wanted him with that 4th round pick. The Giants took him before the Bears did, and that's why the Bears traded back in the 4th round. That is true insider stuff. That's the only insider stuff I've ever had. Those 2 things I know are true. Nothing else. I don't have anything else insider. My connection now to the Bears is gone because Eric Bieniemy's with the Chiefs. That's it. That's all I got. But those 2 things, I can tell you, that's real. That's real stuff from last year. We're going to shrink that down a little bit so my head's not so small. I got a big head as it is anyways. Carl doesn't like to agree with me on that, even though I've told him the connection I have there. He doesn't like to believe it. He likes to think we were trading up at 39 for Travion Henderson. But that's just how high the Bears thought of Luther Burden. They were very zoned in on him, and they wanted to trade up one spot to make sure the Patriots didn't get him. All right, the Jets got about 3 minutes, 23 seconds left on the clock, 20, 19, 18, 17. Yeah, that's kind of consensus where everyone thinks Jordan Love is going. I think it makes more sense. I mean, they've got their quarterback. I think, man, there's so many things. I wouldn't be upset with the Titans if I was the Titans and picked him. But I think it makes more sense for the Giants because they got 2 picks in the top 10. Scataboo! Scataboo! Cardinals are now on the clock, which means the Jets pick is in. Oh, I'm not saying Jordan Love. Oh, is that what I said? Jeremiah Love? Did I say Jordan Love? Got too much on my brain. Jeremiah Love. Thanks for correcting me. I don't even realize when I have a slip of the tongue. If you've watched my videos, I've got slip of. They've got it right there on the board right now. The teams that have 2 picks: Jets at 2-16, Giants at 5-10, Browns at 6-24, Chiefs at 9-29. David Bailey's the pick for the Jets. Makes sense. He was my highest rated guy too. I don't know if this is you guys playing spoiler or if that's who it actually is, but that's who I would go. I think David Bailey is a game changer. I think he's a wrecker. Yeah. Yeah, I don't take Twitter too seriously. I post some things that are very serious on there, like very in-depth take stuff, but I've probably got too many cheeseheads following me because I just poke them on. I egg them on. I'm all into the rivalry with the Packers. I just think they're such low IQ, stupid fans. They're ridiculous. Bears have true fans. Most Bears fans are diehards for life. They're not paid off. I just heard, I've got to find it. I just heard that Harrison Graham helped co-host a Packers podcast back in the day when the Packers one was getting off the ground. I got to go find the videos of that because if anybody finds it before me, send me the link because that would just make my day to watch Harrison Graham hyping up the Packers after you saw him hike up the Chiefs and you saw him hype up the Cowboys his entire life. That would make my life to watch him being so fraudulent towards the Packers. FGB. So there's Roger Goodell on the stage announcing the Jets selection of David Bailey. I think the top prospect overall in this draft class. He's going to be a monster. Walking up the stage. They're talking about how they canceled the top 30 visits. Top 30 visits don't meet everything. I mean, they probably just knew they wanted him. That's the pick number 2. Now we're on to the Cardinals. Yeah, I got to find the article on it, but it was the fan voted, most hated fan bases in the NFL. And the Cowboys was number 1 because they claimed they're America's team and they're just annoying. Packers was number 2 because they all talk about, and the reasoning behind it was they all talk about how they own the team and they've owned other teams forever and they have the most Super Bowls or most championships ever, but they haven't done anything since 2010. And even then they beat us because Jay Cutler got injured. Everybody hates the Packers. Yeah, 3rd pick is where this could get really interesting. Could get real interesting here. So on the consensus big board, this is so far we're going shock. Fernando Mendoza, David Bailey. It goes back and forth. David Bailey, Arvell Reese. You would expect the pick to be Arvell Reese here. They could go Sonny Styles. I mean, they could do several different things here. I mean, team needs. Look at Arizona. I'm not going to pull this up every time, but Arizona's biggest team need is offensive tackle, followed by quarterback, followed by edge. So where's the value of the position when they're picking at 3? What will they end up taking? We'll see. Those who don't know, it's live on NFL Network. I'm sure most of you guys are watching live while you follow on here. If not, we're happy to break it down and share it with you guys if you're just watching our YouTube channel. Totally just love having everybody in here. Hit that like button if you haven't hit that. This is what we build up to, this and the season. And the schedule release, that's the next fun thing that's going to happen. You know, them reporting to camp, the schedule release, when we find out we know who we're playing, but we find out which ones. And then I set my air flight and decide which games I'm going to. And if we have an international game, a lot of speculation about the Bears having one of those international games this year. Cardinals are on the clock. David Bailey's up getting interviewed right now. Man, Texas Tech's defense was just so stout this year. Monstrous. The Jets have 4 picks in the top 44, I think. 4 picks in the top 44. So that second round range, beginning of the second round, is where there's a sweet spot for some safeties. I would expect the Jets to take a defensive back there, at least at 33 or 44. The Jets have some picks before. And they could. Who knows what's going to happen with Aaron Rodgers? He always plays this game. Pittsburgh's playing it pretty close to the vest on that one. It'd be pretty interesting to see if they end up taking Ty Simpson. Don't leave it out of the realm of possibility. If something like that happens, if Pittsburgh drafts, Arizona could absolutely trade with the Bears for a 3rd-round pick, maybe a pick swap to get up to that 2nd-round pick. I doubt that would happen. To be able to take oh, freak. Why is my brain spacing? Beautiful, lovely locks. Tyson Bagent. That could absolutely happen if something crazy happens like Pittsburgh taking Ty Simpson. Yeah, I think that's the no-brainer. Where's our 122 votes? And it's trade back is what most people want. 39%, 33% say Kaden McDonald, 19% say Peter Woods, 9% say defensive end. Cardinals pick is in. Means the Titans are on the clock. Someone's saying Love. Did the Cardinals just take Jeremiah Love? Could that have happened? There will be trades. There will be trades. There's trades every year. There will be trades in this draft. There's going to be a minimum of at least 2 or 3 in the first round. There could be up to 5 or 6. You will see picks happen or trades happen. Of course, you're going to see picks. There's going to be 32 picks in this first round. We've got it queued up. I got a new video clip for the StreamYard that I uploaded if there is a trade. Well, yeah, this year there's not the quarterback frenzy. When there's a quarterback frenzy, when there's a fight for quarterbacks, that's when you see the trade-ups happen in the top of the first round. That's when you see the mayhem go, because not every team needs a quarterback, and teams need the premium of a quarterback. It's the most important position to get right. So when that happens, that's when you see the trade-ups happen at the top of the first round. You'll see some trades happen for a cornerback here around 10 or 11. You'll see the trade up for possibly even someone to trade up and get Dylan Thieneman. There will be trade ups. That will happen in this draft. It happens every draft. You just won't see the top of the draft like normal years because there's no quarterback premium. Top 1 went first overall. Whoa, there he goes. Jeremiah Love is off the board to the Cardinals. Cardinals have got their running back. Look at that. Wow. All this back and forth, people thinking he was going 4 or 5. Could he make it down to 7 or 8? Jeremiah Love goes off the board, sub 4.4 speed, 4.36 speed. Just absolute elusiveness. He's that shifty guy. He's the guy people wanted to pretend Ashton Genty was last year. Jeremiah Love is going to be a game wrecker right off the gate. He's going to be a guy that rushes for 1,000 yards, averages over 4 yards per carry, easy. Like, this is a good pick. I kind of didn't expect it with 3. I kind of thought it would be at 4. And now this is where the draft begins. Things start shifting around. I think the Titans were banking on him. Now they've got a real opportunity to take Arvell Reese. Let's see what they say the Titans' pure needs are. Arvell Reese would be the best player on the board, best player available. Let's see here. Tennessee Titans. Edge is their number one. So, yeah, it'll be shocking if they don't take Arvell Reese right here. Interesting. Fun. This makes it fun. Yeah, there's always a run on offensive players or defensive players in any given draft. This is a more defensive stacked draft. Some of these teams at the top, though, need some of these offensive positions, and there's less options at the top for some of these offensive positions, so they'll go for them. The true clear running back in this class is Jeremiah Love. There's nobody else even close to him. His teammates kind of there. Mike Washington's kind of there. You know, you can say the Washington running back's kind of there, but as a pure first-round grade, this is the only pure first-round grade in this draft. You know, you got a couple that could be second, but you got a lot of third, fourth-round grades. I won't be shocked if the Bears take a fourth-round running back, fifth-round running back if we acquire another pick. Jeremiah Love, though, that's a good pick for the Cardinals, especially without the quarterback. I mean, especially if you take a quarterback in round 2, or if you trade for Tyson Bagent or whatever happens, Jeremiah Love will help take some of that pressure off a young quarterback. So that's a good move by the Cardinals. Yeah, offensive line will have a run for sure. The strength of this class, as far as the offense, it's a defensive strong draft with offensive line and wide receiver being really stacked on the offensive side. So those teams that need offensive linemen, offensive tackles, even that top offensive guard, and wide receivers, they're stacked in this class as well. For sure. I like what Arizona just did there because you don't have to overwork Jeremiah Love. I would see Jeremiah Love getting the work share, but I'd see it being like a 60-40. I'd see them still using Connor quite a bit and probably using him more at the start of the season, letting Jeremiah Love work his way in, not having to have day one. You saw with Ashton Genty last year in some of those first games, he took a handoff off the wrong side. He missed a lot of blocks. There is an adjustment coming from college to the NFL for every running back, even a generational one like Jeremiah Love. So I like the idea of starting the season with James Conner a little bit more and then working Jeremiah Love in. And I'd say by the end of the season, you know, he's going to be the heavy workload. But you're going from a 12-game season in college to a 17-game season in the NFL. There's a little bit of a difference there. So you want to work these guys and not overwork them, and it's a good one. Do a poll on what? I think we need to move up. Emergency, all hands on deck. What's the poll you want me to do? Yeah. Who is the depth chart for the Titans? I'm trying to think about who they picked. They picked someone up this offseason. Let's see. Our lads. Let's go to Titans depth chart. I should know off the top of my head. I apologize for that. Calvin Ridley, Wan'Dale. They picked up Wan'Dale Robinson, who had a great year last year. But, yeah, Titans could definitely use wide receiver. Calvin Ridley, Wan'Dale Robinson, Eric Iomenor from last year. That's not – no one's scared of this. So, yeah, they could definitely use some help. They need a wide receiver one. They don't have a wide receiver one. Wan'Dale Robinson had a great year last year, but he's more of a wide receiver two that acts like a wide receiver one. Titans pick is in. Giants are on the clock. Let's see who the Titans ended up taking. Oh, the poll's still ongoing right now. It's 37-37. Kaden McDonald and trade back. Some people might want to trade up, though. Yeah, that could happen. Yeah, from draft day. We want to sell jerseys. Yeah, if Thieneman fell to us, that's the one defensive back I would love in the first round. It's so funny to watch how every offseason goes because Dylan Thieneman, when I started like hyping him on this channel, was a third-round prospect, second-round prospect. You know, and then he kind of settled in, and I was like all in on Dylan Thieneman. It's funny because same with Traden Stukes. He was a fifth, sixth-round prospect. I highlighted him. He was, you know, I was all in on him in the second, third round. Then he rises. Now some people are saying he could go in the first round. It's just funny every year how we kind of lag behind what other teams are looking at. Teams look at it differently than the Bears look at it. Yeah, I agree. I'm trying to say that as diplomatically as possible. Whoa, Carnell Tate goes early. I'm not as high on Carnell Tate. Look at that. Whoever said that, do the Titans have a wide receiver one? Titans C. That's D. Lewis PM for UU. Titans take Carnell Tate with their wide receiver one. I'm not as high on Carnell Tate. I can understand why teams could be. I don't see him as a game-changing wide receiver one. A little slow to me. He runs good routes though. Good size. He's no Rome Odunze, I'll tell you that much. No Rome. Trade up for Arvell Reese. Carnell Tate is consensusly right there in the 7-8 range, and the Titans went ahead and picked him at number 4. Arvell Reese would be best player available. I mean, you're looking at a bunch of Ohio State guys right here. Arvell Reese, Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Ruben Bain, Francis Mwaga from Miami. So Ohio State and Miami boys could start running off the board right here. The Giants' biggest need, according to PFSN, who I think did a great job with this. Let's see right here. Giants' biggest need, they say, is wide receiver. Oof. They just missed out on who was the wide receiver one of this class. Will they take Jordan Tyson earlier? I mean, Jordan Tyson's one guy that's been mocked from 5 to 30, honestly, in this draft. Who knows where Jordan Tyson would go? But I kind of like Jordan Tyson a little bit more than Carnell Tate. As weird as that is to sound. Yeah, Giants need a defensive tackle. I don't think they'd take that at 5. They could take it at 10, but everyone seems to have a consensus. Now, the same thing happened last year. Everyone said Kenny Grant, Mason Graham, Walter Nolan, they won't go at the top of the draft. Everyone said Mason Graham would, but Kenny Grant and Walter Nolan, they'll go in the second round. And then, lo and behold, they both went top 16 at 13 and 16. So, yeah, imagine one of these guys fell to 25, or if the Bears traded up just a little bit to get one of these guys that slips a little bit. That would be phenomenal. Carnell Tate, number 4. Looks like the Giants have made their pick, which puts the Browns on the clock. When are we going to see the first trade? That's my question. I'd guess somewhere in that 10 to 15 range, you're going to see the first trade. Appreciate all you guys tuning in. Anyone jumping in, appreciate you being a part of it, being a part of the channel. Honestly, we're at 13,000 plus subscribers, and this thing started just over 2 years ago. Never meant to make it something big. I used to be more politically correct, I should say. I started this channel because I couldn't stand watching Harrison Graham chug beer out of a boot and grift for your guys' super chats. So I always tell you, don't feel obligated to super chat on this channel. You guys work hard for your money. This is not my primary income. I work in insurance agency. I own an insurance brokerage. If you want to give me a shot at your insurance, phenomenal. I would love to do that. Don't feel obligated to super chat this thing. I wanted to give realistic takes. I'm not always right. I'm not always right. I'm first to admit that. I'm wrong about several things. But I do a decent job scouting players and giving takes about where the salary cap is, where the draft is, roster construction. So I appreciate you guys being a part of it. That's all I want to say about that. Hit the like button if you don't mind. We're going to see who the Giants take right here. Here's what I'm looking at. If you guys want to check this out, I'll remove that from the screen. I'll show you some of the things I'm looking at the same time. So share screen. I'll show you the things that I'll be sharing here tonight. Team needs from PFSN. They do a really good job. So you can see they've got write-ups on every team. I like to watch that as I follow the draft. You can do it on your own computer too if you want to. To each their own, but I'll show you what I'll be sharing. I'll go up to the Bears here so you can see the Bears. And I think they did a good job vamping it up this year. In years past, they weren't quite as clean, and they weren't as I don't think their analysis was as good. So this is their team needs from 0 to 10. 0 quarterback. They'll give you their reasonings. Obviously, the Bears have their starter in Caleb Williams, backup Tyson Bagent's under contract through 27. Chicago re-signed Case Keenum in a 2-year deal. So it's a 0. It's a 0 burger. We don't need it. Defensive tackle is a 10 out of 10. We need it. Nose tackle, Andrew Billings signed with the Cardinals as a free agent. Jervon Dexter's contract expires in 27. Grady Jarrett is mainly a rotational player at this point in his career. The Bears could benefit greatly from adding an impact nose tackle on a cost-controlled rookie deal early in 2026 NFL draft. They also need a new 3-tech talent. So needing both I don't think you should call him a nose tackle in the Bears, a 1-tech, a 2-gap, is more accurate for how the Bears run their defense. But even still, having a guy that can stuff the run, having a 3-tech to get pressure, having a guy that could fill both those is valuable. So I think that's pretty spot-on analysis. You can look at some of the other ones. They've got an 8 for edge. I wouldn't say it's that big of a need. They say Montez Sweat is a solid piece for the Bears. Add Austin Booker, showed a promise in the rotational pass rush, and Austin Booker did. That said, the Bears still desperately need an impact player opposite of Sweat. I'd say opposite of Austin Booker because I don't think Sweat's going to be here long-term. But I think right now, Austin Booker, Montez Sweat are both 10-sack guys. I think they both could hit that. Are they going to? Probably not. But I think they're both that type of player if you fix the interior defensive line. It's what I've been preaching all offseason. Dio Dangbo free agent signing did not work out. And as good as Sweat is, he's not the – so what they're leaving out here is that Shamar Turner is an edge. They're not listing that here, so I think that's why they have it a little higher. But I still agree. It's probably a 6 or a 7. On our need board. And then they've got safety. Chicago signed Kobe Bryant away from the Seahawks. Shaquan Brisker and Kevin Byard left as free agents. So I think that's a higher need than edge. But even still, it's pretty good analysis when you look at all this, all things considered. And then they've got kind of their projection of what the Bears could do. Kaden McDonald, Malachi Lawrence, A.J. Halsey. Wouldn't be the worst draft haul in the world. So that's one of the things that I look at. Since you're friends, you should call him Teddy Grahams. Here's the other thing. You guys are never going to see my wife on this channel. You're never going to see my 3 kids ever. With AI, if you guys know Mikey, Relentless Mikey, the work he does for helping, kids that are abducted, you're never, ever going to see that from me on here. Like, I just don't believe in that stuff. And it makes me cringe when I see him put his wife and his kids on. Anyways, I'm done talking about that stuff. So that, and then we're going to get to, where is it? The Beast article. And why is it not popping up? It's right there. Right here. So the Beast article, when we get to players that the Bears select, I'll go in here to what the Beast article says. So here's the one on Kaden McDonald. So these are some of the things I'll be looking at as we go through the draft today, just so you guys know what's going down. So let's bring back up the NFL draft. The Giants pick is in, but they're taking time announcing it here. There's some good players still on the board. I don't see the Bears. It would take a first and more to trade this far up in the draft for the Bears. It would take a first, a second this year, and probably even more to trade this far up. NFL Network has their needs right here too. Defensive line, offensive line, cornerback, linebacker, wide receiver, just so you guys see that too. Yeah, I can't. So the one way this probably could happen, Arvell Reese is off the board to the Giants. Great pick for the Giants. Wow. They got lucky that he fell to 5. That is a great pick for the Giants. Phenomenal pick. Yeah, this is one that I've mocked a lot too. I don't see us trading from 25 all the way to 34. I think if anything, the Cardinals would probably trade into the end, but I have a fun one where you trade from 25 to 30 and then from 30 to 34. I don't think it's realistic. Hey, God's blessing to you too. God's blessings to you too. We have pick number 6. Yep, the Chiefs pick is in. They're kind of going through some of the formalities, some of the fun of the draft, bringing up, some different people. That'll happen now and then. It pushes things back a little bit. But the clock still keeps rolling. So the Commanders are on the clock. The Chiefs pick is in. We'll find out who that is in just a minute. That's an ongoing thing, something that could definitely happen after the trade or after the draft. I don't see the Bears making any big moves like that anyways, though, for Kayvon Thibodeau. I don't see that happening. I don't think the Bears are going to go spending anytime. I think the Bears really are going to do the same type of thing they did a couple years combined with last year. You're going to see the draft roll out. I'll bet we end up with probably 7 or 8 picks in this draft, moving up, moving down, doing whatever we do. And then the undrafted free agents, and then those final roster spots, picking up some guys with high potential that maybe other teams have passed up a little bit on. We found a couple cornerbacks last year that ended up having significant playing time for us that we signed on league minimum contracts. So you'll see a couple of those league minimum contracts after the draft too. Yeah, the Bears need that defensive interior so bad. That's the one thing I tried to share this offseason is people were screaming about defensive ends. For a Dennis Allen defense to work, I just want to explain this briefly. I don't want to get too deep into the analytics of it all, but for that defense to work, it doesn't mean your defensive tackle has to get all the sacks, but your defensive tackle really needs to penetrate the pocket and stop the run. And we didn't have that last year. So if we can get a guy, I don't care who the Bears pick, but it needs to be high in the draft. Kaden McDonald, Kristen Miller. I know some people don't like Lee Hunter, but Lee Hunter is the same way against the run and still can generate and get pressure. Kaden McDonald's perfect. Peter Woods would be phenomenal too because he can pin his ear back and get a few more sacks than some of the other guys could. But for that to work, you've got to be able to contain the run and take on double teams so your linebackers can be able to do their jobs. The Bears defense has primarily suffered because the linebackers haven't been quick. That's why we let Tremaine Edmonds go. His coverage was not worth the sacrifice that he had. He wasn't living up to that contract that we signed for him. We got to have quick, lightning fast linebackers that aren't going to get stopped with what they're trying to do. You're going to see more sacks if we can shore up that interior defensive line and just get enough penetration in the pocket so the quarterback can't step up into it. You're going to see a ton more sacks by the defensive ends because the quarterback can't step up, so he's got to try to escape left and right. Montez Sweat, Austin Booker, they'll be eating those sacks up. But also, if that defensive tackle can eat up those double teams and get guys that are worried about him, you're going to have Devin Bush, DeMarco Jackson. You're going to have these guys that are quick and speedy, hitting those gaps and getting some sacks as well. So that's the biggest thing from this draft. We got to have this defensive tackle position shored up, and you're going to see a lot more production on that defensive line, period. And that helps the secondary too. The secondary can do their job a lot better when that defensive line is shored up, and it hasn't been. I was one of the only people that was really down on Andrew Billings. Oh, here's the trade. So the Chiefs are trading up to 6. I got to use my media asset.
This is a good deal, Jeff. This is a good deal for both of us.
So the Chiefs are trading up. They just gave the details of it. Let's see if it's on NFL Network. I missed. Let me go back. I'm just going to rewind so I can see the details because I was talking too much while I was waiting for it to happen. So the Chiefs traded up. The Browns received the 9th overall pick, their 3rd round pick, number 74, and their 5th round pick, number 148. So the Chiefs liked Mansour Delane at the top cornerback in this class enough that they traded up from 9 to 6, and in the process gave up their 3rd round and their 5th round pick to be able to do it. I think that 5th round pick is actually a comp pick. There's your first trade. I thought it would be around 10, but I was wrong. It's at number 9. Let's get live here again. So the first defensive back is off the board, Mansour Delane. Some of these top guys in the draft are still there. Some of those top guys are still there. You still got Sonny Styles, Caleb Downs, Francis Mwaga wins the first offensive tackle, going to go. Ruben Bain, Jordan Tyson. This draft order is kind of like every year. It's not what anybody expected it to be. We still got the poll going. I'm letting this one run. It's been going for 45 minutes. We've got 38% want to trade back. 33% want Kaden McDonald. 20% want Peter Woods. 9% want a defensive end. So I got my second screen over here. So that's when I turn and look that way. That's what I'm doing. What's a comp pick? Yeah, we don't get those in Chicago. They don't like us. I don't think we're really in line with who we picked up either with picking up Kobe Bryant. I don't think we're in line. And the small contracts that were signed. We could be in line for a 7th round comp pick next year by losing the guys we lost, but kind of expected more. This next year, we could lose some guys too. We'll see. Those 3rd rounders, that hurt. That hurt. McDuffie replacement. Yeah, we're going to get to the point where we're going to have to start letting some good players go too when we pay Caleb. Hopefully, he's a smart businessman. Hopefully, he takes a very fun structured contract that doesn't hurt us the way that the Packers are hurt by Jordan Love's contract. Don't say comp pick. Yeah, that's a rough topic. Sore topic. Everyone's on. Let's go, Bears. Yeah, I do think the Rooney Rule will eventually be replaced by something else. Some other way to have the initiative to help minorities get those jobs without the comp picks or without the politics of that. Way too off. They screwed that one up. Commanders pick is in. Saints are on the clock. Commanders. Let's see. Washington, they'll be at the bottom. The Commanders' biggest needs, they're saying, are offensive wide receiver and center and then safety. Ooh, so they could easily go Caleb Downs here or Francis Mwaga. Let's see. Wide receiver, they could go Jordan Tyson. I wouldn't expect center to be taken in the top of the draft. All right, so this is probably going to be Caleb Downs or Jordan Tyson, you'd think, here for the Commanders. This will be interesting. Every year, Keith, every year they boom. It's a rite of passage. I'll tell you, when I went to the draft here, how many years ago was that in Vegas? Probably 2021 or no, it's 22. It's 22 because I remember we didn't have a 1st round pick, so I just went because it was here. I was just having fun. They booed him so hard. It's so much fun when that happens. He is kind of a goober, though. Bear down. Brian Gilmore says, bear down, Bears family. Always. I'm going to try to do more live stream of the games this year, guys. I'm going to try to do some more live streams as we get into year 3 of this channel. We'll have some fun with it. Mwaga has a bad back. He's cooked. Kansas City coach arrested on domestic charges. I'm guessing DA means domestic abuse. Is this true? I can't imagine that Andy Reid was arrested. Dude is a teddy bear. Where would Thieneman fall where the Bears come up and grab him? I'd say I won't see Ryan Poles doing a huge jump up. I would think if he's there at 22, 23, if it makes it past that first wave, if it makes it past the Vikings, I would see us trading up. I think the reason they interviewed Keontae Scott and Traden Stukes and they were interested in those 2nd round guys, I think they're planning on taking safety in the 2nd round. There goes Sonny Styles. Sonny Styles is off the board. So Sonny Styles, neither one that I just said, not Caleb Downs, not Jordan Tyson. It's Sonny Styles, the highly touted linebacker. He goes to the Commanders at pick number 7, best player available. And he was best player available. So now you got the Saints. Their pick is in. The Browns are on the clock. Yeah, I think if anything, I think the Bears would trade up if they have the feel. They've got a better feel for this stuff than any of us do. If they really want McDonald, if they want to get him and they feel like they need to jump ahead of a team like the Commanders, they could trade up just a couple spots and give up the 3rd rounder for that. Remember, 3rd round picks, they're just potential like anybody else. Karan Amagaji has not worked out. Velus Jones did not work out in the 3rd round. These guys are just so if they feel like McDonald is that guy, if Kaden McDonald is a can't miss, they got to hit this guy and trade up just a little bit to get him. I'm not going to be upset one bit. That means they've got conviction in it, and they're solid. Browns drafting a quarterback. I love it. that would be so funny. That would be like when the Falcons drafted Michael Penix. It'd be even worse than that. They've got too many options there already. Yeah, the first round's not moving too slow. We're through 8 picks so far in the first 50 minutes, and there's been a little bit of theatrics with it too. I like it. Yeah, Zach Pickens. He technically was he a 2nd round or the first pick in the 3rd? Yeah, he was the first pick in the 3rd round. You're right. No, I didn't hear about this. You ever hear about the shooting a couple years ago? Andy Reid's office had a bullet go by him. He was there at the time, but said nothing about it. That's interesting. Yeah, I don't know anything about that. I do believe there's a lot of really good talent, especially first. I think centers might start going off, but that's a great place to grab a center. There's some really good talent in the 3rd round this year. So I agree with you, Keith. I don't necessarily think we have to trade him. Wesley is not high on Keith or on Kaden McDonald. He's not high on him. He doesn't think he's worth trading up for, even though he's one of the 2 players the Bears have spent significant time with at the Combine and at Hallis Hall. It's not worth it. All right, Saints are on the clock. The best player available would probably be Caleb Downs now or Francis Mwaga, Ruben Bain, Jordan Tyson. Let's see what the Saints' needs are. New Orleans need an edge, wide receiver, cornerback, guard. New Orleans needs a lot of work. So their pick is in. The Browns are on the clock. Browns traded back from 6 to 9. We'll see who the Browns end up taking. What's up, Mikey? Appreciate you tuning in, buddy. What up? We're just having a blast in here. We've already talked about you a little bit. We've already discussed you. You're a hot topic. We're going to do the episode with Mikey after the draft next couple weeks. We're going to have him come on and talk about his program that he works with called Dark to Light that helps save children and others from being human trafficked and some of the darkness that happens in this world, some of the things that disgust me, why I said I'll never show my wife or children on this channel. That's there's too much evil in this world. So Mikey shedding some light, being an angel is a phenomenal thing. We appreciate you, Mikey. Called to Rescue. I'm sorry. Called to Rescue. What was Dark to Light? I didn't pull that out of nowhere. I know that was from somewhere. I apologize. Called to Rescue. PFF is like 2 picks ahead. We can already see the selections. Really? Let me go to PFF. Let me see what's going on here. Let's go to what subsection are you looking at here? NFL draft. Let me just pull up draft and see what happens. What link are you using for PFF? Once I go to PFF and NFL draft, where are you looking at? I'll pull it up here if that helps. Oh, go into a mock draft and it shows the actual selections. Interesting. All right, let's go back to mock drafts. Mock draft simulator. Let's just go in there. Really? All right, I'll pull it up here. That's wild. That is wild. Appreciate you sharing that. That we can be on a little bit more fun here. We'll remove this one. We're going to share screen. I think you had some insider information there. All right, so we're going to have a couple quick hitting ones right here. We got the Saints taking Jordan Tyson, wide receiver, and we got the Browns taking Spencer Fano from Utah, who was also right there in the top 10 range. They needed a tackle. So hopefully this isn't playing spoiler for anybody watching. We'll watch the Bears one as it happens anyways, but this gives us a little bit of fun. Interesting. This is very interesting to me. Thanks for sharing that. Draft tracker, you said. Click on draft tracker. Yeah, so a lot of defensive tackles. Good evening. Good evening. Draft tracker is 2 ahead. Let me go back to that. What are we talking about with draft tracker? NFL draft tracker. There we go. That's a little bit easier than having to refresh there. Let's see if it pops up when it happens. So the Giants are on the clock here now. We'll just double verify here as they talk. Jordan Tyson went to 8, and right now that's being selected on our TV screen. So wild. I appreciate you sharing that. We're a little bit ahead of the curve now. We improved because of you. I'm the draft tracker. I'll take it. Pretty good trade for both teams. Cleveland won the points, but it was close. Typically, the team trading back will win just slightly in the first round. As you get into second round, third round range, it's almost dead even. They almost always dead even it. But as you're in the top, unless it's quarterback, then you're overpaying like crazy. I mean, the trade the Bears got for trading away the first overall pick to the Panthers is just insane trade value. Absolutely. Appreciate that for sure. And it's accurate. Saints picked Jordan Tyson. This is kind of fun because it shows the best player available on the side here to the right. And PFF is generally, semi-accurate with that. Not bad with it. So you got Ruben Bain, Francis Mwaga, Caleb Downs, Dylan Thieneman, Monroe Freeling, Kenyon Sadiq, and Makai Lemon. The one guard that's hard to pronounce, Jermod McCoy, CJ Allen, who they've got here at 25. Blake Miller, Cassius Howell, Caden Proctor, Kaden McDonald, TJ Parker, Max Ianacor, Denzel Boston, Caleb Banks, Peter Woods. So it'll be fun as we get closer to that range. Giants are on the clock right now. This is good. I'm glad you shared that. That helps improve things here. You can see all my tabs I have opened for – this is all my research stuff. So, yeah, all the PFF tabs, analytic tabs, NFL Next Gen stats, the mock simulator. Jordan loves passing grades. Caleb Williams passing grades because I'm on Twitter messing with Packers fans, having fun. I have to refresh, huh? Let me go back. Let's refresh this sucker and see if it changed things. It did. Francis Mwaga's off the board. So a run of tackles here. Spencer Fano goes to the Browns. Francis Mwaga goes to the Giants. And the Giants had need there. So Dolphins would be on the clock now. And the Dolphins had their biggest need. Let's see what it says on PFSN. Dolphins' biggest need is going to be cornerback. Cornerback and wide receiver and guard. Dolphins are struggling. Cornerback, wide receiver, and guard. So as we look at ours, you've got Mekhi Lemon, the guard from Penn State. You got Jermod McCoy. A couple options there for the Dolphins that could be in play here. What's up, Steve Rogers? Thanks for tuning in, buddy. Got a good little crew going here. We got 310 right now in the chat. Hit that like button if you haven't done that. We just got a new way from PFF that they're a little ahead of the curve. So the TV right now shows number 9 on the clock for the Browns. They're going to end up taking, let's go back to it. They're going to end up taking Spencer Fano, and then Francis Mwaga is going to go to the Giants. So we're a couple picks ahead than your TV. This will be fun as we get up to the Bears. We'll refresh it, and we'll keep it fresh, but then we'll watch the live broadcast too. Dolphins are still on the clock. One trade so far. The Chiefs traded back with the Browns. Or traded up with the Browns. The Browns went back to 9, gave up a couple picks, a 3rd and a 5th rounder to do it. Nice. I dig it. Trade up this far? I don't see any world where the Bears trade up that far. I don't think they've really had Bain on their radar either. I think defensive tackle is pretty locked in here in the first round. I really do. I think the Bears are locked in on that defensive tackle position. And Jordan Tyson, very emotional. No, it's been accurate so far. PFF, we've got pretty accuracy so far as we started tracking it. So 2 for 2. I'm sure it'll keep up. It looks like they're just announcing them faster than we're getting our broadcast. So Jordan Tyson went to the Saints. Sonny Styles went to the Commanders. And now you're going to see Spencer Fano and Francis Mwaga go off the board, and then we're going to have the Dolphins on the board. Dolphins are still on the clock. So this on your TV right now, they're going to announce Spencer Fano. Hopefully this isn't spoiling anything for anybody. Plug my phone in. My phone's dying. Two tackles at 9 and 10 off the board. I don't know if it's falling. I kind of saw his range right here between 5 and 10. So I guess you could say he's falling. I think Caleb Downs is absolutely worth taking. I dig it. PFF accurate? That's wild. They're accurate a lot, actually. It's just you have to interpret the stats properly and combine it with tape. Yep, they're right. 3 for 3 here. We got Spencer Fano now. 3 for 3. So this is accurate. Just a little bit ahead of your broadcast. Let's refresh and see if the Dolphins pick is in. Not yet. Dolphins pick is not in yet. Adam, after last year's Ruben Hip Hop Anonymous, no way I could watch anywhere else. We had a little bit of fun with that. Hip Hop Anonymous? Who? Where? What the heck? There's going to be someone called in this draft that we have no clue, wasn't on our radar, but I feel pretty good about this draft, about the direction we're having. I don't think there's any reason other than team needs, what teams need. And you see tackles going a little bit earlier, made you expected. This was kind of expected. Caleb Downs between 5 and 10. I would expect him off the board here really, really soon. If he doesn't go to the Dolphins, I would be shocked if he doesn't go to the Cowboys. I'd be shocked. Yeah, so the Giants got both Arvell Reese and Francis Mwaga, which is phenomenal. Tackles are going. Adam, since they're ruining it, just go ahead and pull up Pat McAfee's history and is spot on pretty quick. What do you mean Pat McAfee history? On Twitter? Tell me where you want me to go for Pat McAfee. Cowboys could definitely go Bane as well, for sure. Yeah, there's going to be someone available at 25 that we like. Let's refresh this one. Giants still have not made their selection, or at least it's not been revealed on PFF here. Yeah, every team's boards are totally different. Every team has different needs. Every team views players differently. It's not necessarily that a player is bad or has something wrong or why they're falling. Jermod McCoy would be a phenomenal pick. I agree. If he fell to the Bears at 25, that would be phenomenal. Yeah, but I don't necessarily think at 11 they need to do that. I think 11 here, they're probably going to take best player available. Possibly. I would be shocked if Miami doesn't take Caleb Downs. Cowboys traded up one spot with Miami. Let's refresh this sucker. Ooh, you guys are making this fun for me. I don't see that yet. Where did you get your information? I don't see it. The Rams with 13 is diabolical after being in this NFC Championship game. Looking like if we find a partner, we could be trading back. I agree. Unless someone falls to us there, it's on NFL Network. I'm watching NFL Network. ESPN reported it. All right, we'll see as soon as it pops up here. Am I live again? Make sure I'm live. I am. Miami would be dumb if they traded out of Caleb Downs, honestly. I would not understand that if they traded out of Caleb Downs. Hey, but props to Cowboys. If they traded up and got Caleb Downs, that would be good for them. Let's see. Let's refresh it here. Still shows on the clock. So you guys showing me PFF. We're a little lacking here. Let's go back and see if Draft Tracker. Let's just hit the button again and see if it fixes it. Oh, there we go. Yep. So there's the trade up. Caleb Downs. I can't believe Miami. You look right there. They even shows needs safety. I can't believe that. Great pick for for Dallas. That's phenomenal for them. What did they give up trading up one spot? Probably a third rounder, maybe a fourth rounder from 11 to 10. I mean, oof. Let's see what were Dallas's picks that they had. Dallas had 92 and 112. It's probably 92 or 112 that they gave up. Yeah, I can't even imagine why Miami would trade back one spot and not take Caleb Downs. That blows my mind. Like, that was a need for Miami. Dallas, good job convincing Miami to trade back a spot and probably only giving up 92 or 112. I mean, that is insane to me. That's crazy. You just had someone fall to you that was potential top 5 pick, between 5 and 10. Man, if I was a Cowboys fan, if I'm Harrison Graham right now, I am freaking out excited. They gave up 2 5th rounders is all they gave up, 177 and 180. Whoa! 2 5th rounders to come up and get Caleb Downs ahead of Miami. Good job, Dallas. Good job. Wow. If I'm a Dallas fan, I'm freaking out. I'm excited. That's insane. That is terrible, Miami. That's terrible. Those were 2 comp picks. They gave up 2 5th-round comp picks, the equivalent value of a early 5th rounder, late 4th rounder. 8 points and 7 points are the value of those 2 picks, and that's worth pick 140, which is a very last pick in the 4th round. That is insane. Wow. My first jaw drop. You just gave up Caleb Downs for 2 nobodies in the 5th round. If I was a Bears fan, or if I'm a Miami fan, If the Bears were in that situation, I would be pissed right now. I would be. It's a need. Miami needs a safety, and they just traded out of possibly the best safety in this draft. I mean, unanimous consent top safety. We'll see how it goes. There's always, a deal at the end of a trade. Someone always does better in this, but that's insane to me. What did Miami have for what did they have for, let's see what they had for draft picks. They have so many draft picks. They've got number 11, number 30, number 43, number 75, number 87, number 90, number 94, number 130. They've got in the first 94 picks, they've got 7 picks in the first 94, and they traded back for 2 more picks. Oh, I can't even tell you how Miami is becoming the new Cleveland right now. That's just Miami doing Miami things. That's so bad. That's so bad. They just gave up Caleb Downs for 2 more picks in the 5th round when they already had 7 picks in the top 94. That blows my mind. Yeah, but if you're tearing down the house, take cheap safeties in the 1st round. I mean, I just don't. Yeah, maybe we should have offered our 2 7s. That's just crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Okay, I'm over. Let's refresh this thing and see if Miami's made their pick now. I would be shocked if Miami doesn't. Oh, what's their biggest need? Let's go to PFSN and just look what they say their biggest need is. Miami's biggest need is wide receiver, then cornerback. Oh, man. Offensive guard. Could they take the Penn State guard? And they were planning on doing that all along, and so they were just trying to get some extra picks out of it. I don't know. Either way, that's insane. Well, there's the first shocker. There's 2 trades so far. Anyone who's saying there's no trades going to happen, there's trades every year. I mentioned earlier on this that there could potentially be 5 or 6 trades in the 1st round. Happens every year. Don't think it's not going to happen. It always happens. It always happens. Boom, 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 boom. All right, let's refresh this thing again and see if something else has happened. It seems to refresh better when I just re-hit the tab for Draft Tracker. So let's do that. Nope, their pick's not in. So they're announcing on NFL Network right now the Cowboys pick. Insane that the Cowboys, I mean, maybe the Cowboys, they got rid of Eberflus. They could be headed in the right direction again. Ruben Bain, Dylan Thieneman on the board. Penn State guard would be a good pick for Miami if they wanted to do that. Jermod McCoy. I can see Jermod McCoy going here to Miami. Wow. That one really obviously shocked me if you guys can't tell. That one shocked me a little bit. Yep, I got Caleb Downs. Yeah, but where in next year's draft? Because I think I think the middle of this draft might be better than the middle of next year's draft. We won't know that till the season goes on, but the middle of this draft is really solid. I'd be shocked if the Bears don't capitalize on 57 and 60. I don't see him trading up that far. I really don't see the Bears trading up that far this year. I think they value those mid-round picks too much. Yeah. Addition by subtraction. The thing that kills me watching old Eberflus videos is like seeing in the locker room the difference between him and Ben Johnson in the wins, and it's genuine by Ben Johnson, so I love it. But watching him, we did it the right way, right? And saying right over, and now we gotta stack these wins together, right? We can do this together, right? And we got each other's backs, right? Like, it's just so monotone. It's crazy. I wouldn't be shocked if Miami does try to trade down again. Oh, wild that they didn't take downs there. Polar opposites for sure. I don't think the Bears are interested in Ruben. I don't think the Bears are that interested in defensive end in the first couple rounds. I really don't. I think they're really zoned in on some of these other positions. And if you weren't here for the beginning, my crazy prediction, like the far out one that probably won't be right, is that the Bears wait till round 4 and take Mikael Kamara in the 4th round of this year's draft to get their defensive end. Yeah, this one does feel like a 20-minute one. I don't know what the holdup is here for the Dolphins. This one's taking a lot longer than the normal ones. Yeah, I think the Patriots trade out of the first round just to avoid anything tonight with how heavy that is. The Bears are trading with the Jets for their 2nd and 4th. This is obviously a hypothetical. Refresh, they say. Okay, sorry. Refresh. What'd I do? Back. Refresh. All right, looks like the Dolphins have taken Caden Proctor. Oh, the Rams have taken Ty Simpson. Whoa! Rams took the quarterback. This is good for the Bears. This is very good because now there is some actual legitimacy that the Bears could trade. You could have a draft day trade here in the 2nd round, in the 3rd round, where a team could want to get Tyson Bagent. You got both Pittsburgh and you got Arizona that could really want him. This could be interesting. And I know maybe I'm overvaluing Tyson Bagent. I'm not saying for a 2nd round pick, but possibly for a 3rd round pick. This could get interesting. Ty Simpson off the board. There's always quarterbacks going a little earlier than people expected. Did not see that. Obviously, they see Ty Simpson as someone that can develop behind Matthew Stafford. That's bold. That's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it works out. Thankfully, no Proctor to the Bears. Yeah, I think there's going to be a run on offensive tackles here, and I think it's going to make some players available for the Bears. And I don't think, man, the rumors are Braxton Jones showed up to camp with a stronger base. He showed up completely healthy. He's a stopgap. I get it. It's all going to depend on really how severe the injury is for Ozzie. If Ozzie Trapillo's injury is, really detrimental, you can see us draft a tackle. But I think there's more value here in the mid rounds for those tackles to learn behind Braxton Jones and Jedrick Wills than people were giving credit to. I could see us taking one a little later on, like Austin Barber. So there's the announcement on TV for Caden Proctor. The Rams are just saying, hey, we got this free pick here. We're going to take Ty Simpson. This is crazy. Yeah, so on the screen, you can see, I'm sorry if I didn't announce it. The Dolphins picked Caden Proctor. It is kind of small on your screen. The Rams picked Ty Simpson, quarterback from Alabama. Wild. Yep. I think that's kind of how everyone feels right here. Maybe 2nd round, the Rams could do that, but doing that in the 1st round, that's pretty phenomenal. This is fun. This is what makes the draft fun. When things happen that you weren't expecting to happen. Let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. Ooh, that's too big. Oh, that might be our sweet spot right there. No. There we go. Sweet spot right there. But then I don't have my top bar. Ty Simpson on the clock as the Ravens. Gonna have to zoom it back out. That's the best I can do right there. Refresh it again and see if the Ravens have selected. Ravens are still on the clock. You got Ruben Bain, Dylan Thieneman, Monroe Freeling, Kenyon Sadiq, Mekhi Lemon. There's going to be some player picked in the first round that most don't see coming. There will be some shock value here at some point in this draft. We have 238 votes now for who the who the favorite pick is for the Bears. We got trade back 38%, Kaden McDonald 34%, Peter Woods at 19%, defensive end at 9%. 238 is pretty solid. I think I'll end that one. Let's end that poll. 238 votes. Nice job, guys. Bane's little arms, are those affecting him? I don't know. I don't have the answer to what's causing Ruben Bain to fall, other than there haven't been a ton of edges off the board so far. So let's do our recap here. So far in this draft, we'll zoom out just a little bit. What are we at? 175. So let's go to 100%. Just go back. Fernando Mendoza went to the Raiders. That was kind of the only guarantee that everybody knew would happen. David Bailey then went to the Jets. He's my favorite prospect in this entire draft. Jeremiah Love then went third to the Cardinals. Carnell Tate went to the Titans. Arvell Reese went to the Giants. We had our first trade at number 6. The Chiefs traded up from 9 to 6, gave away their 3rd and their 5th round pick to do it. They took Mansour Delane. Then Sonny Styles went to the Commanders at 7. We had Jordan Tyson go to the Saints at 8. Spencer Fano was the first tackle off the board. Went to the Browns after they trade back. Francis Mwaga then went at 10, so we had 2 tackles in a row. And then Caleb Downs, in a shocker, got the Cowboys traded up 1 spot, only had to give away 2 5th-round comp picks to move up 1 spot and get Caleb Downs. I'm shocked that the Dolphins didn't take Caleb Downs, but obviously they were more focused on fixing the offensive line. So they took Caden Proctor at 12, and then the Rams took Ty Simpson, quarterback, at number 13. They've got one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They're pulling a Packers move by drafting Ty Simpson early and developing him under their quarterback to be able to do that. That's really bold. It's a bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it turns out. All right, now at 14, here's what's coming up. You got the Ravens, who is first real potential to take a defensive tackle right here. I don't think they will. There's other players available that fit their needs as well. Then you got the Bucks, who probably will take Kenyon Sadiq from everybody's speculation. Then you got the Jets again, who, man, if Ruben Bain's there, you'd be shocked if the Jets didn't take Ruben Bain. He shore up both sides. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Then you got don't let the Lions or the Vikings get Ruben Bain or Dylan Thienman, please. Oh, that would break my heart. Then you got the Panthers. You got the Cowboys again, who are already killing the draft. And then you got Steelers, where the draft is being hosted. And then here's your biggest threat right here. You got the Cowboys as a threat for defensive tackle, and you've got the Chargers as a threat for defensive tackle. Those are your biggest threats right there. So let's refresh this thing again, see if we had any action happen. Nope, we still got the Ravens on the clock. Wow. That one really shocks me with Ty Simpson. Someone needs to take Eamon Warry so the Bears aren't tempted. I don't think the Bears are that interested in him. That's cool. Yeah, Hester was picked at number 57, so that is cool. And I think they said that whoever gets picked at 57 is going to get a lifetime supply of Heinz 57 ketchup. Yeah, I don't think Bajan would go for a 2nd rounder, but I think if a team is seeing Ty Simpson off the board and they really want, and they don't like these other quarterbacks left in this draft, I could see them trading Bajan for a 3rd rounder. I could see a 3rd rounder happening. I won't be upset if we get a 2nd rounder for him. Not one bit. How are we looking to snag Caleb Banks? I think we're a little bit behind there, buddy. At 57, you mean? Banks at 57? I don't think the Bears are interested in Caleb Banks right now. The Bears, honestly, the Bears could do anything. They really could. They could trade up. They could stay put. They could trade back. I see 60 being a trade back spot for the Bears to get a little bit of, day 3 value out of. I won't be shocked one bit. Rumor is the Steelers' first is in play for Tyson Bagent. Let's do it in a heartbeat. It'd be interesting if the Bears traded up with the Steelers and used Tyson Bagent as part of the trade capital to come up and do it, to get ahead of the Chargers for the defensive tackle. Ooh, I think you might be onto something there. Give the Steelers Tyson Bagent, trade up from 25 to 21, maybe even recoup a 4th rounder from the Steelers for that. I'm intrigued. Calling me intrigued by that one. I like Mason Rager a lot. Rager a ton. Riger, I think. Him and Caden Curry, Mikhail Kamara, those 3. I think the Bears are more interested in Mikhail just because of the top 30 visit. They had a top 30 with Mikhail Kamara. I think all 3 of those guys would be phenomenal, though. I would say Tyson Bagent's probably better than anybody left in this draft. I think the top 2 had the most potential to possibly be better than him. But Bagent's definitely starter potential if he's developed properly. He's done fine. Yeah, in a second do that. Oh, they're telling me to refresh again. Refresh. Looks like the Ravens pick is in. Let's go. Let's see. So there's the Ty Simpson announcement on TV. Wild. All right, here's the Ravens pick. All right, that guard that I hate announcing his name, Olia Vavega Ione, however you say it, he's off the board. So the Ravens have taken their guard. All right, so for the Bucks, I'm going to look at PFSN. The Bucks, they say their biggest need is edge. So will you be shocked if they take Reuben Bain? Probably not. It's got to be Reuben Bain right here. Linebackers also a need for him. They could possibly get Jacob Rodriguez in the 2nd round. So the Bucks are on the board. Reuben Bain is the best player available left. Then you got the Jets, Lions, and Vikings incoming. And I hope the Lions and the Vikings just crap the bed with their picks. Yeah, that does always scare teams. Who was it the Jets picked up, though? The Jets picked someone up. I don't think the Jets are necessarily – I think the Jets are in tank mode, and they're running with whoever they picked up. Yeah, this Ty Simpson pick is crazy to me. Like, even if you're going to take Ty Simpson, why not trade back a little bit? Maybe nobody wanted to trade up to that spot, but still. That's wild. Maybe they knew the Jets were going to take him right here. Maybe they had to get ahead of the Jets. Yeah, that's right. Geno Smith. I apologize. It's space brain. I got too much on my brain right now, but Geno Smith. They got Geno Smith out of it. Yeah, you guys are on it. You guys are great. Yeah, I like this. How about kickers for both the Vikings and the Lions here in the 1st round? A punter and a place kicker. Let's do it. Yeah, that is a huge – there's multiple implications here. Potential trade for Tyson Bagent. And if nothing else, even if there's not a trade, another quarterback in front of the Bears pick helps push some other players back to the Bears. So this is a good thing that the Rams took Ty Simpson. We like that. We've got our quarterback of the future. This is the one need. Quarterback, I doubt we take a linebacker as well. That's actually a good topic. What picks would you be shocked if the Bears took? Guard. 7th round. Anything could happen in the 7th round. You could take quarterback in the 7th round, guard in the 7th round, but we're talking actual picks, 1st, 2nd, 3rd, 4th round. I'd be shocked if we took guard. I'd be shocked if we took more than anything quarterback. Yeah, I highlighted who it was. I think it was Dad Shuzu was the one who mentioned PFF. being the one. I apologize if I just gave the wrong person credit, but let's see here. Refresh. Let's see if there's any new news. Nope, the Bucks are still on the clock. Someone mentioned something about Pat McAfee, but I didn't know what they were talking about there. I think he might be updating on Twitter quicker than normal too. Yeah, learning under Matt Stafford would be a phenomenal opportunity for that kid. Breaking news. Packers don't have a first pick. As long as we don't draft a wide receiver at 25, my TV be safe. I would shock if we do that at 25. I really think we will in the 3rd or 4th round pick up a wide receiver. The wide receiver out of Mississippi. I think the Bears like him. Dejon, however you say his name, it's a DE''Z. Dejon Stribling. I think that would be a good fit for the Bears too. All right, so on the consensus big board, yeah, Reuben Bain was 9th on the consensus big board. Mekhi Lemon coming up for wide receivers. Monroe Freeling, Kenyon Sadiq. Those are some of the options on your consensus big board. So here's the Ravens announcement on the clock. Let's refresh this and see. Ovai Vavenga Owane is how he said it. I'll get it right, but it doesn't really matter because he is a Raven. All right, let's refresh this, see if it's in. Oh, Reuben Bain is gone. He is a Buccaneer. So Reuben Bain goes to the Buccaneers. Did they get good value? Did they get a player that fell for a reason? We'll find out when the season hits. We'll find out. Obviously, it looks like they got good value there. Good for the Buccaneers. Yeah, that would be wild, but I think this is going to be a big year for I think people are really not giving Cole Kmet credit. He's had some phenomenal one-hand catches. I mean, he's not Colston Loveland. He doesn't run as as smooth, as fluid. His routes aren't as clean. But his blocking this last year was phenomenal. The way he took that next step to become a better blocker. I'm really high on Cole Kmet. I think he's going to be one of the highest graded tight ends this year. I'm not saying yards. I'd be shocked if he's probably going to be right around the 500-yard range would be my guess for Cole Kmet. But I think his grade overall, the value that he brings to the team is going to be phenomenal. I'm really high on Cole Kmet. I'm high on Colston Loveland too. I think they'll both be top 20 tight end grades. I think Colston Loveland will be top 5 grade, honestly, and probably the top tight end in yardage this next year. I really do. Yeah, that's a good point. Bain next to Vita Vea should be strong. That'll be a fun defense to watch. I don't know what's going on here with this whole Pat McAfee thing. You guys are bringing up Pat McAfee multiple times, and I'm not sure what's going on. Kmet is solid, and we could trade Kmet after this year if he plays well. Man, I would hate to see that happen because I don't see getting back to that. I think he's worth second-round value. I don't see a team trading a second-rounder for him. I think he's too valuable to the team and to Ben Johnson's type of offense, this 12, 13 personnel. I wouldn't be shocked if we picked up another tight end in the draft next year too. I really want Carson Ryan, guys, in the 5th, 6th, 7th round this year. I really want Carson Ryan a lot. He's not going to be your pass catcher, but man, he can block and he can find himself in open space sometimes. I'm with you on this one. I hope Kmet retires a Bear. The draft so far shows how far off people are on knowing who's going where. Yeah, you don't know what teams fall in love with who. We don't know who the Bears have fallen in love with. The Bears have got a prospect that they've fallen in love with. And we're going to find out here if they trade up for one or if they take him at 25. just like last year. They loved Colston Loveland. They loved him. And I'm glad they did because they knew what they were doing. I feel like the Bears are on point with their draft so far lately. All right, let's refresh this sucker again. We got the Jets on the clock. I've got a little bit of anxiety going through me right now for who the Lions and the Vikings take. I don't like them picking ahead of us. I mean, I'm glad we beat them and we made the playoffs, but I don't like them coming up back to back. Gives me a little anxiety. All right, let's go refresh this sucker. Here we go. The Jets still on the clock. So the Jets already took their edge. You've got Jermod McCoy, really good option right here. Mekhi Lemon could be. I mean, they could take Dylan Thieneman too. You're not going to go wrong by taking Dylan Thieneman. They're on commercials right now. I would assume my TV is not too loud. You guys can hear it. I've got it down low. Tampa drafted Reuben Bain, defensive end out of Miami, who was consensus top 10 pick. So getting him at 15 is good value according to where people have him mocked at. So Daniel Jeremiah's best available. He's got Reuben Bain, Mekhi Lemon. Reuben Bain's off the board now. Mekhi Lemon, Kenyon Sadiq, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, Dylan Thieneman. I am not high on Emmanuel McNeil-Warren like everybody else is. I think he's a great player. I won't be upset if the Bears take him. I just think he's a little slower and he ankle tackles way too much. Aren't Lions desperate for offensive line help? Yeah, but interior offensive line. So, do they really need to reach to do that in the first round, or could they get that in the second round? PFSN says Detroit's biggest needs are offensive tackle. Oh, that's right. They had Taylor Decker get cut. So, yeah, they could easily be going Monroe Freeling right here. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry. I totally spaced that. And edge, I know, is a big need for them, too. You guys, I thought I was the only one on a hill here with this whole Emin-Worry thing. Emin-Worry is poop. Too slow. No Emin-Worry. That's funny. Sadiq to the Jets. Let me refresh. I might just be a little slow here. All right, let's look down here. The Jets have selected Kenyon Sadiq, tight end out of Oregon. So he's off the board. The Vikings are going to pick Dylan Thieneman. You know that's happening. Monroe Freeling going to the Lions, and that's a good pick for them. Not something I'm terribly upset about, but the Vikings picking Dylan Thieneman seems all but done. It seems done at this point. I'll be shocked if they don't. Shoot. Throw Keontae Scott in there, too. I did this on Twitter a while ago. I'm good with any one of those three. Thieneman, Stukes, Keontae Scott. I'm good with all three of those guys. Oh, am I saying Emin-Worry? Gosh, I do this every year. Dylan Thieneman. Emin-Worry is the guy I wanted last year. I was high on Emin-Worry. I sure was. Yeah, Vikings could go corner. It happens every video, guys. There's a video I present where I'm going to have something wrong on my graphics where I screw something up, or I get tongue-tied and I just think of the wrong name at the wrong time. I always do that. Yeah, Emmanuel McNeil-Warren is who I was talking about. Yep. I think you guys are right. I think Monroe Freeling is a done deal here to the Lions, and I think Dylan Thieneman's going to the Vikings. You're going to start seeing me start like mass refreshing here because the Lions are on the clock. All right, I should start a poll here. Start a poll here. Do you want the spoiler of who the Bears pick? Do you want the comments? Do you want PFF? Do you want that spoiler ahead of your TV? Or do you want to watch live? Do you want us to have our own little celebration and spoil it? Or do you want it to be live on your TV? You let me know now as we get close. Yeah, no defensive tackles taken yet. I think the Chargers are going to be the first. So basically, I'm asking if you want to know as soon as it comes out. I mean, you just want to know. You don't want to wait for the TV to show it. I'm going to tell you my preference. I actually just want to see when it pops up. I want to know. I want to be. We can still celebrate it together. We can still have our reaction. We can still watch it on TV after too. It's going to be a couple picks behind. So. Keith says he's going to be muting it. He doesn't want to know. Refresh. Creighton says refresh. Refresh. All right, so let's see who the Lions picked. The Lions took Blake Miller ahead of Monroe Freeling. Not a shock. I mean, all those guys are first-round grades. So Blake Miller is the tackle that the Lions have taken out of Clemson. Good size, good overall foot movement on Blake Miller. I thought it was a potential to be there for the Bears. So good call by you guys saying the Lions are going to take offensive tackle. Not terrible to understand that one, but I really, man, the Vikings here, they're taking Thieneman. They're doing it. So far, it looks like 77% of you out of 66 votes just wanted to know. As soon as it happens, just want to know it. And I respect it. We're all here sharing it on YouTube. We'll watch afterwards, but knowing as fast as possible is kind of fun. We'll let that one keep rolling until we get close to the pick. All right. Don't put that into the universe. I'm sorry. I just can't see. The Vikings passing up on Thieneman when that's a need of theirs is like the freaking Dolphins passing up on Caleb Downs. That's just crazy to me. All right, Vikings still on the clock. I'm going to start refreshing a ton as we get closer to the Bears pick. All right, no pick yet. They're showing the Vikings with the core needs of running back, center, defensive interior, and safety. Ironically, the Bears' two biggest needs, one of those will be picked in the first round. If they take Kaden McDonald, if they take Dylan Thieneman, it takes away from the Bears. You son of a bitch. I hope they take someone nobody's thinking or expecting, and it leaves our guys to us. All right, they're still on the clock. A honey bear? Honey bears. That's why we haven't won a Super Bowl yet. The year that we won the Super Bowl, McCaskey's disbanded the Honey Bears, said they were too sexual, gave the wrong image for the franchise. We have not won a Super Bowl since. Yeah. Hey, Vikings, there's a good safety out of Toledo. They could take Emmanuel McNeil-Warren before us. Their defense is slightly different than ours. He might be better than theirs. Come on, do it. Take Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I'm okay with that. Okay, I refreshed it. We'll recap as we go down. Raiders took Fernando Mendoza. Jets took David Bailey. Cardinals took Jeremiah Love. Titans took Carnell Tate. The Giants took Arvell Reese. The Chiefs traded up to get Mansour Delane. The Commanders took Sonny Styles. The Saints took Jordan Tyson. The Browns took Spencer Fano. The Giants took Francis Mwaga. The Cowboys got Caleb Downs with a slight trade up, 2 fifth-rounders for it. Dolphins then took Caden Proctor. The Rams took Ty Simpson. The Ravens took Olivega Ione, however you say his name. The Buccaneers then got Reuben Bain. The Jets got Kenyon Sadiq. The Lions took Blake Miller. And the Vikings are still on the clock. A lot of build-up to nothing there. Yeah, there's a really good chance right here that they take Dylan Thieneman. I don't think we take Mesidor. Do you? I really do. Man, Ryan Poles has mentioned him a couple times, though. I'm not the big. I really don't think we're taking edge first round. Virginia taking ownership is the reason we didn't win another one, unfortunately. How dare you speak ill of Virginia McCaskey? I mean, that could happen. The Vikings could take Jadarian Price. Yeah, there's been several edge rushers come off the board. Still several left on the board, though. No, I don't dislike Mesidor. I just don't see him being that game-changing defensive end that you have to take in the first round. I think if you're taking a defensive end in the first round, you need to have him be an impact guy. Refresh, they say. Refresh. The masses are calling for a refresh. Caleb Banks. Whoa. The Vikings took Caleb Banks with his injury, saying this guy is generational. I thank you, Vikings, for taking Caleb Banks and falling in love with him. I was high on Banks earlier. He kind of stood at my defensive tackle 3-4 for a while. Now he's fallen to my defensive tackle 5 behind Lee Hunter. A lot of places had Banks falling to the second round. Some places had the Bears taking Banks at 57, which I did not think was reasonable at all. Caleb Banks being their pick at 18. First defensive tackle off the board. Thank you, Vikings. It's possible Dylan Thieneman could make it there, but you know the Eagles love these solid, hard-hitting, quick safeties. I mean, we're looking at a range right here that's going to be hard to get through. Could the Bears really trade up with the Steelers to get Dylan Thieneman or to get Kaden McDonald to get ahead of these teams like the Chargers that want a defensive interior and a safety, the Eagles that want a safety? We're in a range now where this could get real fun and real exciting real quick. There's some things happening here that could happen and change the way the Bears go. This is interesting. Interesting. Word has been that the floor for Thieneman is Carolina. Another hurdle is next. Interesting. Chargers drafting McDonald is something I've heard a lot of too. I know we need the capital, but when you've got a player that could be impact, that could be game-changing, that many feel is blue chip, you don't necessarily – if you feel like that guy is your staple and you take him, you trade up and get him, I'm okay with it. I'm on the phone with Carolina and getting a sweet deal. We've fleeced Carolina before. Can we do it again? Wouldn't you be shocked if Carolina ever traded with us again after the fleecing we gave them? I mean, you'd have to be shocked. Yeah, anybody in this range, all of these guys could take. I doubt the Cowboys would take safety after they just took Caleb Downs. But there is some real potential of teams that could trade at that they could take the players we like right here. You could have defensive interior taken by the Panthers. You could have Dylan Thieneman or Kaden McDonald taken here by the Panthers. You could have the Cowboys could take Kaden McDonald. I mean, you got a whole hurdle of teams right here that like that need the same things we do. Oh, this is going to get really intense really fast right here. All right, so the Panther, Caleb Banks is a little bit of a shock to me. I mean, when healthy, he's got the attributes, but he does keep his pad level a little bit high. But I mean, he ran that 40 split quick, that 10-yard split quick, 6'6", athleticism off the chart. I don't see Caleb Banks as that game wrecker though. They do. They do. The Vikings do. So they went with him. Caleb Downs is probably the biggest shock for me so far, that the Dolphins allowed the Cowboys to trade up and get him a spot ahead of them. All right, let's refresh here. Panthers are on the board. On the clock, I should say. Panthers are on the clock. They're still on the clock. Trade up with the Cowboys and give up 2 fifth-rounders. Let's do it. I think the Panthers take Lemon or McCoy. Yeah, they need more wide receiver help for sure. Yeah, Caleb Banks in the first is like Ty Simpson going in the first. Both of those are kind of ones that gave you a little bit of a shock. All right. I know we all want to trade up, but hold. All right, let's refresh this sucker. See if we've gotten any farther. All right, we're at pick 19. Oh, it's in. Monroe Freeling. They've taken a tackle. They want to protect Bryce Young. They've taken Monroe Freeling. So anybody thinking the Bears could potentially go offensive tackle in the first round, those offensive tackles have all come off the board. There's no offensive tackles. I mean, Max Ianacor, I don't know if the Bears were in love with him or not, but he's really the last of that first round of offensive tackles. Look at how smart Ryan Poles was, probably looking ahead and seeing all these tackles could be going off the board and picking up Jedrick Wills, re-signing Braxton Jones, making it so we didn't have to pick an offensive tackle in this draft. Wow, phenomenal. I'm glad they did. I didn't think we were taking offensive tackle anyways, but that really is the last one that I really thought the Bears could take in the first round. Interesting. Yeah, Caleb Lomu. Caleb Lomu could be as well. I see him being potential there. I don't see him being as impactful as those first 4 guys that have gone. The next round the next tier down would be Caleb Lomu, Max Ianacor. And then after that, you're getting into 3rd, 4th round grade guys, in my opinion. Let's look at offensive tackles just to look at it. So Caleb Lomu, Max Ianacor, Jennings Dunker, Caleb Tiernan, Markel Bell. I see these as 3rd round guys. They've got Jennings Dunker up in the 2nd round. Let's see where they have Austin Barber. I think could be a real. I'm looking at how the player actually is, and you look at Austin Barber, and he's a phenomenal run blocker who fits the outside wide zone scheme. The Bears could be interested in Austin Barber. Good size, 6'6", 314 pounds. So I could see us going after one of these guys. J.C. Davis is another guy that I liked later. So I could see that too. Another solid run blocking offensive tackle. Some of these guys that can get out and seal the edge in our type of running system. They still do very well with pass blocking as well. And played the position, the actual position. So J.C. Davis, Austin Barber. Those are 2 guys that I could see us going after later if we need to go that route. So I'd be happy with either one of them later. I don't think we even have to draft an offensive tackle, though. But if you want to bring one into camp, great. Do it. Do it. Do it. When's the next trade going to be? We will find out. Refresh, they say. Refresh. Did I miss another one here with the Cowboys? Is the Cowboys pick already in? I'd be shocked if the Cowboys took the Eneman. Ooh. The Eagles have traded up. The Eagles have traded up with the Cowboys. Ooh, how did the Eagles still have pick 23, though? Interesting. I want to see the trade that happened. What happened here? What happened? How do they still have pick 23? Who did they trade? Who did the Cowboys trade? What happened? What happened? They trade a player? Yeah, I really like Mike Washington Jr. as well. Yeah, so it doesn't show Dallas at pick 23. Let me refresh again and see if it updates now. I'd be shocked if the Eagles just straight up traded and got their first round pick without. Still shows it there. That's weird. I'll bet it's just not updated or refreshed yet. If anybody knows the trade details, share them. AJ Brown. The AJ Brown trade happened. Saquon, Pickens. Yeah, ESPN says the Cowboys are now 23. I would assume that's what happened, but it just hadn't refreshed on here yet. We'll get the trade details in a minute. 23 to 20 would be somewhere in a third round range, I would assume. They've taken Mekhi Lemon. So the Eagles have taken Mekhi Lemon, who had a very interesting combine interview. That's all I'm going to say about that. But they've taken Mekhi Lemon. That's good. Safety not there. Kid the Bears. This is the one spot where it's realistic where the Bears could trade up right here with the Steelers needs and with what the Bears need. This could be the first opportunity to truly trade up right here. So let's see, from 23 to 20, that's I'm way off. 24 in value. That's a fourth round pick. So they probably got a fourth round pick for trading up. And Philadelphia has a fourth round pick at 114. That's worth 28. I'll bet that's what they did. I'll bet they gave him 114. Hold. All right, we're going to trade up here, or are we going to... Hold. I get too much joy out of those things. All right. So Jermaine Colin is saying 20 and 7th for 23, 114, and 137. All right, let's refresh this and see if the Steelers, the home team Steelers for the draft have picked. They have not yet. Ooh, we're getting close. 5 picks away, guys. 5 picks away. All right, let's close up our poll. Do you want the spoiler of who the Bears pick by PFF? 72% said yes. There's some good options here, guys. Dylan Thieneman, Jermod McCoy, Kaden McDonald. Those are all good options for the Bears. I know cornerback isn't the biggest need, but Jermod McCoy is really a good player. Someone I haven't even highlighted because I thought he would be gone by now. You would think they would have brought him in for a top 30 for the medicals. Sometimes players come back for another season just because they didn't get a play like that, but we'll see. Spoiler alert, Bears trade back. Chargers take safety. Yeah, I won't be shocked if the Chargers take either of my favorite prospects here, Dylan Thieneman or Kaden McDonald. Yeah, that's actually kind of draft day movie type of thing to happen. They traded away 2/5 to come up, and they got 2/4 by trading back. Not bad. Not bad a move by their part. It's very possible. Dylan Thieneman's also possible. We got to see what's going to happen here. I'll start refreshing more often. Refresh. Dylan Thieneman's still there if they picked. Nope, it's not picked yet. Anybody else getting anxiety? A little bit of nervousness going on? Some teams think McCoy injury. Yeah, you'd think teams that were interested in him would have brought him in for a top 30 visit. But if he's declaring for the draft, you'd think you'd be all cleared up. If not, you'd go back a year and try to prove himself. But I can't believe that the Vikings took Caleb Banks. That's kind of crazy to me. No, I didn't see this today with everything I was doing. Who did we restructure? You've got it. I said at the draft would be when we restructure because we have to restructure to sign these draft picks. That's something that had to happen, even to re-sign them and then to finalize the next couple guys. So I did not see it. Tell me who we restructured. I can try to go look at it real quick. Bears restructure. Opened up 10 million in cap space, which is about what you need. Yeah, I don't see opening up 10 million in cap space more than anything than signing your draft picks and going into the season with, a little bit of buffer cap. That's all I see with that. I don't see who they restructured, but Komet and Jonah, two solid ones to restructure. Just happened 5 minutes ago, so yeah, I definitely didn't see it. All right, picks in. Let's refresh this sucker. All right, here we go. Pittsburgh. Still on the clock. Pick is in. They did not trade out. That's good. That's good. Because this was the real genuine spot where the Bears could have traded up. But I got to play it one more time because I'm glad the Bears... Why restructure? Because it gives you some flexibility with guys that you are positive are going to be on the roster without limiting yourself long term. Hold. Yeah, this is working out nice for us. This is working out. Dylan Thieneman, Peter Woods, Kaden McDonald, all three of them there. What you could see, because they mentioned if a lot of the guys you like are there, they could trade back. This could turn into the trade back. Ooh, I'm getting nervous. All right, let's refresh. Let's do this type of refresh. It was better. They have not picked yet. They're doing a big theatrical thing for the Steelers because it's their home. Yeah, I would love the value of the trade back because we need a couple more picks. So a little hint here, if you don't want the spoiler, there were 25% of you who didn't want the spoiler. Pause your YouTube feed of this or, let it fall back a minute or two and you'll be pretty caught up with where it would be on your TV. So if you want your TV and the announcement here of this at the same time, just hold it back a little bit. Most people wanted to have it as soon as it happens. So we're going to take that. We're going to run with it. We're going to see what happens. But if you wanted to not have spoilers, just pause it a little bit. All right. So the Steelers have taken Max Ianacor, the tackle from Arizona State. So tackles are flying off the board in this draft. 5 tackles taken in the top 21 picks. So if the Bears wanted a tackle, you got one option left. I mean, you really got Caleb Lomu. That's it. So I am really glad Ryan Poles re-signed Braxton Jones and picked up Jedrick Wills. That was really smart on his part. And now you can take one of these guys in the 4th round, like I was talking about, if you really wanted to tackle and see how he competes against them. All right. I don't see the Chargers trading out of this pick because their 2 needs are like our 2 needs, and they would probably be picking right here. The best thing you want is the Chargers to maybe take Emmanuel McNeil-Warren, in my opinion. I think Rollins will be one of the picks. Seth Rollins is who he's talking about. I don't think the 1st rounder, but I would love to see Seth Rollins come back again for one of those 2nd rounders. That'd be fun. So Jerry's Craven says that 30 seconds is perfect if you delay it. Just delay it just a little bit. March of the Elephants has happened. These big boys. Teams want their big boy tackles. Man, the fact that we got Ozzie in the 2nd round last year was nice. Too bad he's injured. I just hope he can come back. I really do. Yeah. Poles tricked everyone. I think they were genuine looking at it, but Mad Max Ianacor. He's a good-looking player. He really is. This whole thing of water I'm running out of as we get close to our pick. I hate it. Woo! Yeah, that was so fun in Green Bay to have Seth Rollins announce the way he did. 425 strong in the chat. You guys are phenomenal. This is a great community. If you haven't hit the like button, please consider doing so. Helps the algorithm, helps this channel, and I appreciate you guys tuning in, being a part of it. It's fun. Not something I really never anticipated hosting this thing longer than just heading into that 1st draft, but as it grew, we are where we are, people. We are where we are, and now I'm kind of stuck. I enjoy it, but I'm locked in now. This is something that's going to continue. Pick is in. Should I refresh? Let's refresh this sucker. Where are we at? Right there. Dylan Thieneman's still there. I like seeing that. Kaden McDonald's still there. Chargers have not picked. Dang it. The pick is in. Who are they going to pick? This is one of the biggest ones for the Bears to get what they want. Still nothing yet. All right, we'll do a recap. With the 1st pick, the Las Vegas Raiders took Fernando Mendoza. The Jets then took David Bailey. I apologize. The Cardinals, with the first little bit of surprise, not a big surprise, took Jeremiah Love. The Titans took Carnell Tate. That was kind of a bigger surprise to me. The Giants then took Arvell Reese. I apologize, guys. This happens when you talk a little bit too long. You get a little bit of froggy throat. The Chiefs traded up for Mansour Delane. The Commanders then took Sonny Styles. The Saints took Jordan Tyson. The Browns, after trading back, took Spencer Fano. The first run of the tackles started right here, the March of the Elephants. The Giants took Francis Mwaga. The Cowboys traded up one spot to take Caleb Downs. The Dolphins then took Caden Proctor. The Rams, with a shocker, took Ty Simpson. The Ravens took the guard out of Penn State. The Buccaneers took Reuben Bain Jr., maybe one of the biggest steals of the draft so far. We'll see as the season progresses. The Jets took Kenyon Sadiq. The Lions took Blake Miller. They needed their tackle. The Vikings took Caleb Banks, who I was grateful for them doing that. Then the Panthers took Monroe Freeling. The Eagles traded up to take Micaiah Lemon, and then the Steelers took Max Ianacor. I'm just going to listen to the Chargers pick since I didn't refresh. They take Akeem Mesidor. Oh my goodness, this is working out perfectly for what I like. I didn't want Mesidor. I was worried the Chargers would take either Dylan Thieneman or Kaden McDonald. It's perfectly working out for my desires for the Bears this year. Oh my gosh. They're even behind now with PFF. They don't have Akeem Mesidor off the board here. Woo! Now we got the Cowboys, the Browns, and the Bears. The Cowboys could easily take Kaden McDonald. Yeah, I didn't want Mesidor either. I think a lot of people felt the same way. I'm not worried about Mesidor. To me, it's not that I dislike Mesidor, but to me, Mesidor is a dime a dozen with Gabe Jacas, Zion Young, Danny Dennis Sutton. All these guys, they're very similar to me. I don't think Mesidor is a game wrecker, and you need a game wrecker if you're taking him in the first. Dylan is going to be a Bear. Didn't think it was possible. There are really good options on the board for what the Bears need. Even Jermod McCoy. Cowboys, Browns, Bears, Bills next. Do we trade back? Do we trade back? For the love of all Adams, please trade back. Oh, tomorrow's going to be so much fun with picks 57 and 60. TJ Parker, ESPN, you say they've taken TJ Parker, or you want us to take TJ Parker? Let me refresh this and see if the Cowboys have selected. No, they got Mesidor. Nothing on the Cowboys yet. Sorry, I'm running out of voice here tonight, guys. Yeah, there's a lot of good players that I would be happy with right here. Yeah, the Browns could very easily go linebacker for sure. I'm not too worried about the Browns with their needs. The Browns have a surplus of defensive tackles, so I'm not worried about them taking defensive tackle at all. My goodness, I'm getting a hoarse throat. This is a good spot for teams to trade up, though, especially if they want a cornerback or a wide receiver. So you say it takes a trade partner. Well, there's some good cornerbacks here. You got both Avion Terrell and Jermod McCoy. You've got wide receiver still with Omar Cooper and Denzel Boston. even Colton Hood, KC Conception. This is a good place where teams might start taking that run on quarterback and wide receiver. So if a team wants to get ahead of other teams, they could easily trade up with us. The Dolphins are one of those teams that could easily trade up from 30, but it looks like they're trading back. When you go back here and look at the Dolphins trading back a spot, maybe they wanted extra capital to be able to trade up. Who knows? Maybe the Dolphins wanted to trade up from 30 to get that wide receiver that they need. So we'll see what happens. Taking Caden Proctor was big to fix their line, but they still need to get that cornerback and that wide receiver. So the Dolphins could be a very real trade partner for us at 25. If I'm a betting man right now, I say we hold pat. We stay right where we're at. And we take Kaden McDonald. I think the Bears are in love with Kaden McDonald. Who do you want, Adam? I want Kaden McDonald at 25. If we trade back, it'll be interesting to see what happens. Pick is in, but none reported. Let's refresh it just to see. Refresh. Dylan Thieneman is still there. Kaden McDonald's still there. Nothing. Nothing yet. Nothing yet reported. I would take Thieneman. I won't be. There's a handful of guys here I won't be upset with. Dylan Thieneman, Jermod McCoy, TJ Parker, obviously Kaden McDonald, Peter Woods. I won't be upset with a lot of guys here. There's a lot of guys I will be really happy the Bears take right here. There's very few I won't be happy with. It's very high praise, Jerry. I appreciate that. I do appreciate that. We're almost at 500 live now as we get close to our pick. If you haven't hit the like button, hit that like button. Very happy to be sharing this with you guys, bringing a place where we can come together for it. Cowboys pick is in. Let's refresh this, see if we get ahead of the commissioner. Ooh, I'm getting nervous. This could be Kaden McDonald right here. Malachi Lawrence, edge. He went way higher than this. Is a Malachi Lawrence is that boom or bust guy. He's got such raw talent, but he is raw. I didn't want the Bears to take a shot on him because we already did it with Austin Booker. We already did that raw talent guy that needs to develop. Malachi Lawrence could be an absolute superstar. He also could not develop and be that bust. So the Cowboys, that's a very Cowboys type of pick to get Malachi Lawrence. Now, if nobody trades ahead of the Browns here, the Browns aren't taking defensive interior or defensive back, I wouldn't think. What the Browns do, I wouldn't be shocked if they take linebacker. I also won't be shocked if the Browns trade back and someone comes here to trade ahead of us. Not trying to, I'll knock on wood for that one. I won't try to, but if the Bears really want their guy and he's sitting there, this won't be a shocker if the Bears do that whole, hey, we'll give you a 7th rounder to trade up one spot. One spot is worth, let's see what one spot is worth here from 25 to 24, 7 points. It's worth a early 6th rounder, which the Bears don't have. So maybe both. I don't know. Maybe a future. I don't know. I won't be shocked if the Bears try to trade up one spot here, but let's just really hope the Bears. This cracks me up. They don't have the coaching now that Flus is gone. Let's go. Let's do this. What are the Browns going to do? Let's refresh this thing. The Browns already took, just to refresh, Spencer Fano. So they already took their tackle. So they already took that position. It shows their need is wide receiver, tackle, guard, and center. So you'd think wide receiver is the biggest option here for them. If we look at PFSN's needs board, Cleveland, it shows they need wide receiver more than anything. So Denzel Boston right here, KC Conception. You can see wide receiver go right here for sure. Let's see who the other wide receivers. Denzel Boston, Casey Conception. That's really the big two right here. Some wide receivers already gone off the board. So let's refresh it, see if it's already happened. They took Casey Conception. The Bears are on the clock. Woo! Guys, we've got all our guys sitting here. Dylan Thieneman. You've got Kaden McDonald, TJ Parker, Jermod McCoy, who I wasn't expecting, even Keldrick Falk, if the Bears are in love with him. We've got all our options available to us. This is big. The Bears are on the clock. Best player available, it's got to be either Kaden McDonald or Dylan Thieneman. Either one of them has got to be best player available to me. Oh my gosh, this is playing out perfectly. And both those guys, in my opinion, are top 20 picks. Both Kaden McDonald and Dylan Thieneman are top 20 picks. I will let you know when I refresh for sure. Oh boy, Bears are on the clock. Number 25. This is fallen perfectly for us. I was so worried about the freaking Vikings taking both Dylan Thieneman or Kaden McDonald. Vikings went with Caleb Banks. I think the pick here is McDonald. I really do. I think they've fallen in love with Kaden McDonald. I think he fits perfectly for the Bears. So many false narratives. I think Greg Gabriel was given false narratives about Kaden McDonald not being able to get pressure. He's the perfect penetrator guy that can take on double teams. If you didn't see my little what do you call it? Write-up on him. If you didn't see my scouting report on him, I posted that today because I thought Kaden McDonald would be our pick. But honestly, I'm good with whatever the Bears pick right here. Within a reason. I won't be shocked with some things. All right, I'm going to refresh. Let's see if the Bears have done it. Here we go. Refresh. Bears have not picked yet. Oof, 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 oof. Browns pick is in, and they've already selected Casey Conception. I honestly don't see a world where Emin Wari is picked by the Bears. I don't think if they call Emin Wari's name, not Emin Wari, Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I did it again. I say the EMW and it throws my brain off. I apologize. Emmanuel McNeil Warren. If they pick him, I just don't see the fit of why we wouldn't have re-signed Brisker, of why we wouldn't have brought back Kevin Byard. He's just not that game-changing sideline to sideline speed guy. Like Dylan Thieneman is. Dylan Thieneman is that sideline to side that thumps hard and can have perfect coverage. Oh, we'll do both. I'm gonna watch as they announce it too, but I'm gonna cheat and I'm gonna see it on here. I can absolutely see the Bears trading back. I can see that happening because they mentioned it. All right, here's the refresh. I have a feeling it's in. Refresh. Here we go. Bears pick is not in. Okay. I've got anxiety. My anxiety is killing me. I'd like some nice trade value, though, if we do trade back. Let's go. Poles is working that phone right now for the trade down. I can't wait to see the 1920 football drive, too. This is going to hit when we get to see the behind the scenes. I'm out of water. The Bears pick is here. We're ready for it. Let's go. I'm going to do another refresh. Still on the board. Oh, on the clock. Every time I scroll down there, it gets me anxiety. I'm nervous, not going to lie. Yeah, I'm betting it's McDonald if we do draft. I also can see a trade down happening. That's real anxiety coming out. This is the future of the franchise here. At pick 25, after having a phenomenal season, we get a pick that is honestly, this player could be a top 20 type of player. There are some good players left on the board. Here we go. Refresh again. Nothing yet. Woo. So they show our needs as center, defensive interior, edge, and safety. Our two biggest needs are probably defensive interior and safety. They got the Bears fans on. Let's go Bears. Let's go Bears. You're going to see me refreshing a lot here right now, guys. Nothing yet. Ooh. Honestly, I'm kind of torn right now. The Enderman would be a game changer, but Kaden McDonald would also be that guy that would fix that defensive line. I don't see how they can pass up on Kaden McDonald right here. The pick is in, according to our TVs. There's no trade down. The Bears are picking. The pick is in. It's got to be Kaden McDonald. I'm telling you right now, it's got to be Kaden McDonald. It has to be. I will be shocked if it's something other than Kaden McDonald. They love him. He's a perfect fit for the Bears. Here we go. No, it's not in yet. On TV, it says the pick is in. They've made the pick. We just don't know what it is yet. Here we go. Refreshing again. Nothing. Woo! Okay, here we go again. I'm ready. Nothing yet. My gut's telling me it's Kaden McDonald, guys. It's got to be. Dude, breathe. I know. I know. Thieneman or McDonald, please. Thieneman or McDonald. It's got to be one of the two. Sorry, I'm not checking the chat too much right now. Dylan Thieneman is a Chicago Bear. I'll take it, man. Dylan Thieneman is the first guy that I fell in love with in this draft. He is such a impactful tool to this team. Sideline to sideline. I didn't think he'd be there at 25. I'm sure none of you guys did either. I thought the Vikings would take him. Dylan Thieneman is a Chicago Bear. It fixes the biggest hole we had. We did not have a strong safety. Dylan Thieneman is going to be, if the Bears picked a white defensive back. What? Man, he's a game wrecker. He's going to be so much fun. Let's go. Great pick. Let's go. Now trade up and get McDonald. Awesome. Take Thieneman and move up in the second. Yeah, let's go Bears. Boom, there it is. I freaking love this. Now I just want to see when it comes on the screen. Now that helps give more light when you realize we let go of Kevin Byard and we let go of Jaquan Brisker. When you replace him with Kobe Bryant and Dylan Thieneman, heck yes, man. Heck yes. I'm good with it. I really did not think Dylan Thieneman would be there at 25. And you look right there on the screen, they've got him as the 11th overall player on PFF, the 11th best player in this draft, and we just got him at 25. I honestly don't know if the Bears believed that he would be there at 25. So phenomenal. You look at him, you look at his graph here with Oregon, 91 grade this last year. He had, let's see, how many picks? I think he had two interceptions, 5 forced incompletions. His NFL passer rating when targeted was phenomenal. They don't show it right here. I did a whole thing on Dylan Thieneman. I love Dylan Thieneman. I'm all about this pick. 100% love this. This is phenomenal. Phenomenal. Now let's see if Ryan Poles can work something to get back into the first round or early next round. Yep. Poles kept saying best player available at 25. That makes a lot of sense. Excellent pick. I got this one right. Finally. It just made too much sense. Either Dylan Thieneman or Kaden McDonald. Those were our two biggest needs. We didn't have a strong safety. There he is. Okay, they're going to announce it. I can't wait to see the reaction. I mean, he was consensus the second best safety in this class, and to me, it was Dylan Thieneman and Caleb Downs 1 and 2, and then everybody else was kind of behind him. Traden Stukes was right up there. I didn't think we had a shot at Thieneman, so I really thought Stukes in the second round. This is phenomenal. Here we go. Lots of booze. Sick, man. Yeah, they even just said the guy that they thought was coming to Minnesota is coming to the NFC North. Dude, I'm legit like so psyched about this team. He is an impact player. He hits so hard and he can move quick. What was his 40 time? 4.39 40, sub 4.4 40. Like Dylan Thieneman is a game wrecker. Everything else in this draft, like, is good after this. Dylan Thieneman is that guy. I can't believe the Vikings passed up on him. Now, who do we get at defensive tackle? I like a lot of the ones that are left. Kaden McDonald, probably not going to be there for us. Probably can't trade up high enough. Kristen Miller, Lee Hunter. Peter Woods, obviously, I don't think will be there either. I really think we could trade up with 57. I really do. I think we could trade up with 57 to get a defensive tackle. See where this board starts falling. If we end up with Lee Hunter at 57, I'm going to be freaking stoked. So many people overlooking Lee Hunter because of the combine. If you didn't watch the combine, all you're looking at is at the results. 4.33 in the 40. That's right, man. He was lightning quick. That's right. I undercut it. If Lee Hunter is a bear, he looks like a bear with that beard too, with that grizzly bear beard. If you didn't watch the combine, go back and watch Lee Hunter's drills. His footwork, he looks like a ballerina. Like even Daniel Jeremiah said he didn't test the best, but he looked the best out of all defensive tackles that we're testing. So I'm really hoping Lee Hunter falls to 57. But I think it's really possible if you start seeing this run on defensive tackles that Ryan Poles could trade up for 57 and get in that range of getting one of those guys. You need one of those big 4, big 5 guys. And there's one defensive tackle off the board so far. They're showing Dylan Thieneman highlights right now. Icy. Wow, guys, we really did it. We got Dylan Thieneman in the first round. It really happened. That was the first player I highlighted from this draft. The first player I was excited about was Dylan Thieneman, and we ended up getting him. How cool is this? We are absolutely stacked now. This is so cool. I got to pull this up real quick. Let me show you guys this in just a second. Oh, they're interviewing him. Looks good with the Bears hat on, too. Says he's very versatile and fast. I love it. So I got to show this and update it. I'll have it in 2 seconds. I just have to update it here. We are stacked at the safety position, guys. Okay, let me save this one. File. Save as. Apologize. Could have got that a little quicker. I am so freaking stoked. Okay, let's bring this up. Image file. A+ pick for sure. So here's what the defensive back room looks like right now for the Bears. You got Dylan Thieneman, strong safety, Kobe Bryant, free safety, Jalen Johnson, Tyreek Stevenson at your corners. You got Zay Frazier, and Terrell Smith as your backups. Terrell Smith could come back. If you didn't watch the episode last night with Nick Rohde, I can't tell who, but he's got a very inside connection with Bears players. He's hung out with some of the Bears players. Someone on the roster is friends with him. And he told us yesterday that Terrell Smith is completely healthy and he looks phenomenal. And last year, if you followed this channel, Terrell Smith was the guy I said supplants Tyreek Stevenson as starting cornerback because of his man coverage ability. Terrell Smith probably has the best man coverage ability on this team. So that's what our secondary room looks like right now. That's the new secondary. Kyler Gordon, Tyreek Stevenson, Jalen Johnson, Kobe Bryant, Dylan Thieneman. That is stacked. I will take that up against any other team in the league. Yeah, I'm high on a rookie. Yeah, Dylan Thieneman still got to prove himself. But, man, he tested off the charts. His tape is clean. He was phenomenal in college. I am so high on this. I am so high on this. We are set. I wouldn't be shocked if we take another, safety or cornerback late in the draft with a 7th rounder, but maybe a nickel. Josh Blackwell can fill in just fine for Kyler Gordon. Josh Blackwell, more of a special teams player, which is why I have him 2 knocks down. Doesn't mean I don't like him as a player, but he can fill in as a nickel if he needs to. You can have other players slot over at nickel if they have to as well. Cam Lewis could even slot in at nickel if he needed to in a pinch. So this is phenomenal. When I log off tonight, this is going to be one where I've lost my voice. Holy bear crap. This just happened. Like this is intense, guys. I can't believe that's our secondary room. That's our secondary. We gave up Kevin Byard, Jaquan Brisker, Nashawn Wright, Jonathan Owens, and we were able to replace it with this stacked group and look as good as we do. Yeah, I like Price Hawk a lot. I actually highlighted him on a couple of my mock drafts. I think he's a good late one as well. That is phenomenal. What a secondary is right, Mikey. Woo! All right, let's get back to the actual draft. I just wanted to share that. That is phenomenal. Remove this, add this, and let's see what's happened since the Bears have picked. More has happened. I am stoked. I now want to see what's going to happen with defensive tackle. What's going to happen next? All right, so after the Bears picked, it looks like there was a trade. Buffalo and the Texans. Did anybody catch what the trade was? Put that in there if you want. But they got Kalen Rutledge, who the Bears actually had a visit with. Very versatile guy. And then the Dolphins have traded up as well so there's been 2 trades here. 2 trades that I missed out on. I'm going to have to go back and look and see what happened here. But the Dolphins have traded up to select their cornerback in Chris Johnson from San Diego State. So things are flying off the board. Tell me what those trades were if you guys saw them. Trades from Buffalo and Miami. Yeah, not since like January has Thieneman been falling in the mock drafts. Man, this is phenomenal. White lightning. Some of you guys are calling Dylan Thieneman white lightning. This is so cool. I want McDonald too. Could it happen? Who knows? 30 and 90 was the Dolphin trade. So the Dolphins gave up 30 and 90 to move up to 27. I missed the trades. I missed the trade here. I wish they would show on here. They should show on here what happened. Let me go to Twitter and see if I can see it on Twitter. Draft trade. Dolphins trade with the 49ers. Buffalo only traded back a couple spots, so I would be shocked if it was more than a third or fourth rounder. I'm sure Thieneman falling was more out of team necessities than him having red flags. I don't think there's any red flags on Dylan Thieneman. Dylan Thieneman is a phenomenal pick. I'm telling you, man, Lee Hunter, you know I've been pounding the table. So Lee Hunter was the first one I was high on. Then I moved to Kristen Miller. Then I moved to Kaden McDonald. It's gone back and forth. And the combine for Lee Hunter, if you actually watched it, was really good. Yeah, we don't need Stukes now. All right, let's update this and see if anything else has happened with the Bills now. Bills have not selected yet. We're sticking through here to the end of the first round, guys. We're sticking through to see what happens. I won't be shocked if overnight something happens with, say, the Cardinals or the Steelers. I think the Steelers will re-sign Aaron Rodgers, but the Cardinals trading for a Tyson Bagent. There could be other teams that they trade for their backup quarterback. But you look at quarterbacks that are available. I mean, Garrett Nussmeier's nothing to start for the year. Drew Aller. I don't see them being worth anything higher than I think Tyson Bagent's worth more than any of those guys. So there could be an overnight trade. What do the Cardinals have available? Oops, what is going on here? My mouse was being funky dunky. Let's see. Let me go look at Arizona's picks, draft picks. Arizona has pick 65, which is it's essentially a second rounder. If the Bears could milk Arizona for pick 65 for Tyson Bagent, that would be a steal. Like, that would be phenomenal for the Bears to get 65 for Tyson Bagent overnight. Then the Bears would be picking at 65, at 57, and 60. You could easily package that to trade up from 57 to get Kaden McDonald. You look at, let's say 65 and 57 is worth 174. That's the same value as number 34 overall. There are endless possibilities that could happen overnight tonight. I'm not saying it will happen. I'm saying things could happen. There could be some fun things that happen overnight now that the Rams took another trade. What did I miss? The Bills traded again. The Bills did trade with the Patriots. The Bills have traded twice. Well, the Patriots are definitely picking in the first. No, the Patriots are definitely picking in the first round. We'll see if Mike Vrabel comes out and speaks. So the Bills did the double trade down. I'm glad we didn't. I'm glad we got Dylan Thieneman, guys. That is phenomenal. Caleb Lomu. They wanted to get that last tackle. So they got Caleb Lomu. The Patriots traded up to get their guy. That's the last tackle until you get into later rounds. Look at the tackles that are now available. Jenner Dunkings, Caleb Tiernan, Markel Bell. I think it's okay for the Bears to take a shot down here, but good thing they didn't go tackle. What a draft so far. What a fun draft. What a fun draft. Yeah, I would be shocked if they don't trade Bagent before the draft. I'd be shocked if they do it all. Like, they'll run with him into the season if they don't get value out of the draft for him. I am freaking the F out of my living room right now. I had no idea that dude would be there at 25. What a pick! Ah! Carl is happy. I'm happy. That might be a GM position. That's not my calling. Draft capital for next year is very valuable. Yeah, I'd be happy with. I think they're going to have to let the board falls how it is. But the Jets got Geno Smith, so I don't think the Jets will even prioritize quarterback at all this year. I don't think they would trade for Tyson Bagent. I think they are going to run with Geno Smith into this year with the idea of tanking and getting one of the elite quarterbacks in next year's draft. Yeah, that would be quite the draft. If you got Dylan Thieneman, Lee Hunter, Sam Hecht, and then Danny Dennis Sutton, how many times have I mocked that? That's phenomenal. Yeah, I don't know if it vastly improved because we had a solid safety room last year, but I do think it improved. And even saying that over, Kevin Byard, who was a Pro Bowler and led the league in interceptions, saying that we improved from last year when we let Kevin Byard go is something in and of itself. I am bouncing here in the UK and it's nearly 4 a.m. Yeah, now commence for the Tank for Manning sweepstake. There's a couple of them next year. I love that Dylan Thieneman was the first guy that I legitimately fell in love with from this draft class, and it just happened. So my video from him was on February 4th, and back then he was a second, third round prospect, and my title for it, I'm just looking up, is Dylan Thieneman a first round prospect? Oh, so funny how things change. And my promotion in there was that I would take him in the first round. I think he's a first round prospect. So it's just funny how things change over time. Refresh. Let's refresh it. Sorry about that. I'm on cloud 9, honestly, with what the Bears just pulled off. All right. So Peter Woods just went to the Chiefs. Peter Woods is a Kansas City Chief, and I don't blame them. And he's a great prospect. I really like Peter Woods. Will Kaden McDonald be there? Will Lee Hunter, Kristen Miller? I like all three of them. I like all three of those guys. I'm a big fan of all three. I need one of them to be there. And if they start going off the board, I need Ryan Poles to trade up. I need a trade up to get one of those defensive tackles. It's worth it. I give up pick 89. I don't care. Let's see what the value of what we could get it by trading 89. 89 is 46 and 96 is 57. So that'd be 142 in value. That'd get us to number 42. 42 is a good range to trade up to get one of those guys. I'm all in for it. I'm up for it. Trade 57 and 89 to come up to 42 and get the defensive tackle you want. I want it. I'm all in favor now. I want it. That's what I want. I don't think McDonald will make it much farther, but I also don't think Kristen Miller and I think Lee Hunter might make it the farthest. Here, I'm going to start another poll. Let's see what you guys think. Start a poll. Trade up with 57 and 89 to pick 42 or stay put. Hold. I honestly don't think all three. I don't think there will be a solid defensive tackle there at 57. Trade up or hold. Both second-round picks would not get you into the first round. Both second-round picks, 96, it'd be 171, 84. Yeah, it actually would. It'd get number 32. Seattle's not going to trade back that far. They're not going to trade back to 57 and 60 for 32, though. They wouldn't do that. But that is what it would give you. Crazy. Crazy. Fun draft. All right, let's refresh this thing. Sorry about that. Refresh. They're announcing right now Peter Woods on TV. Ooh, the Jets have traded up into the first round. The Jets have traded up into the first round, guys. The Jets have traded with the Niners to come up into the first round. Let's see what happens here. I don't hate Grayson Halton. He's not my priority. I think he's too much of just a 3-tech. He doesn't eat up enough double teams. He's not enough of a big guy that can eat up the double teams to allow those linebackers to do their job, which is the whole thing of what I was saying about McDonald. We need a bigger one that can really take on the double teams. That's not Grayson Halton. Grayson Halton can pin his ears back and be a 3-tech, but he's not that guy that really complements Dennis Allen's defensive line to free those linebackers up. The Jets are going to pick for the third time in the first round right here. Oof. We got 91 votes so far. It's kind of split, but more people saying the trade up, 57% with the trade up. I need that defensive tackle. It's worth the trade up to me. Yeah, the Chiefs have done some nice things to add to their team for sure. Bagent to the Raiders? Why would the Raiders take Bagent when they just picked Fernando Mendoza? I don't see that happening. I think that range for Bagent would be in the third round, but if you can get Arizona to give you pick 65, that would be phenomenal. Then I would trade up in a heartbeat because then you still have 60 and 65 to pick with. You could get your edge and your center there at 60 and 65 easily. What? McDonald doesn't get pressure? McDonald impacts the defense, the offense. That's crazy. Go read the write-up I did on Twitter, guys. McDonald is absolutely a game wrecker. He can penetrate that pocket and make it so a quarterback can't step up into it. Yeah, I want to move up to, I don't know what the trade details is here. I missed the trade details of what the Niners gave, or the Jets gave the Niners to trade up. Let's refresh this thing. The Jets took Omar Cooper. I don't know what the Niners got from the Jets, but they had a lot of picks to give up. So the Jets really wanted that wide receiver. The Jets got their wide receiver. The Jets got their tight end. And the Jets got David Bailey, who I think is the best player in this draft overall. All right, 2 picks left here in the first round. There will be some action overnight. It happens every year. There will be a trade that happens overnight. Teams leave the draft. They can recoup, look at their boards. You have to understand how he was asked to play at Ohio State. Not understanding the actual scheming of the team leaves you to have poor draft analysis of a player. It's not just about pressures. It's how they impact the pocket, their get-off time, how they move around, their lateral quickness. It's not just about sacks. It's not just about pressures. In our defense, in Dennis Allen's defense, if Kaden McDonald can take guys on and dent the pocket and allow it so a quarterback can't step up into it, it allows those defensive ends to get the sacks. If he takes guys on so that Devin Bush and the other linebackers can be able to get in and do their job without getting taken on, he does. Kaden McDonald is literally the perfect defensive tackle for a Dennis Allen defense. I don't understand this false narrative that went down. I don't understand where it came from. I think some of it came from Greg Gabriel and any of you who listen to his nonsense sometimes, but that's just completely false. Kaden McDonald is the perfect defensive tackle for a Dennis Allen defense. I've done my rant for the day. My voice is already shot. I'm done. Yeah, so I missed this while it was going on. I appreciate you sharing that, Bob Ward. Bears restructured Jackson and Kmet to create cap space, $10 million freed up for. No, This is to sign players and go into the season. We could not have signed our draft picks without restructuring a couple of these. We were over the cap. It doesn't show that because we hadn't done the draft yet. We were over the cap by 3 or 4 million before this. You had to restructure 10 million just to have the draft pick signed and go into the season with 4 or 5 million in buffer cap. So I highly doubt this means we're going out and getting a big name. You're looking at league minimum contracts and undrafted free agents from here on out. Bills traded their pick again. Let me refresh. Crazy. This is getting crazy. I told you there would be trades. I told you. I told you so. So the Bills have traded their pick to the Titans. The Titans have come back into the first round as well. Pick is not in yet. But the Bills will go back to 35. So a couple teams doing the double trade down. We talk about the double trade down every year. And there it is. The Bills and the Niners both moved out of round 1. Titans needed that running back. Are they trading ahead of the Seahawks to get Price, Jadarian Price? Is that what they just did? Oh, this will be interesting if they just traded ahead of Seattle to get the running back. This could be what just happened. It could be for Edge. It could be for Keldrick Falk for sure. I mean, they need a couple things here, but I'm just looking at Seattle being there at 32. Why you trade ahead of certain teams? Let's see what happened here. There's 3 big defensive tackles left, guys. I'm let's see, 54% trade up, 46% say hold. It's going to be interesting. $320,000 there at the draft. That's a lot of people. So a lot of people, I do like McDonald. The Bears' run defense was horrible. We have to stop the run. McDonald, Lee Hunter was right there with McDonald for run defensive stats. Kristen Miller, also a very good run defender. Yep, the Titans got Keldrick Falk. So Keldrick Falk is a Titan. All right, 1 pick left in this 30, and then you'd think this is Jadarian Price with Seattle losing their running back. Could be Jermod McCoy, though. Could be Emmanuel McNeil-Warren. I said, man, do I feel vindicated? I said Emmanuel McNeil-Warren was not a first-round grade. A lot of Bears fans fell in love with him. I don't know why. I don't see linebacker being something we pick with the additions we made, re-signing. I mean, we got a solid linebacker room this year. I don't see that being something we really focus on. One more pick, and then we're off to the second round tomorrow. Why would we re-sign Sanborn and just replace him with a linebacker? I don't know. I don't see linebacker being a need. I won't be shocked. I won't be shocked if we take a linebacker like maybe 4th round or later. They're good to develop, but I mean, I don't see linebackers seem to be something. Yeah, Bob, I will be live tomorrow as well. I'm all in on the draft, especially tomorrow's. I probably won't go live for round 3, but I'm going to immediately do a recap at the end of round 3 with the undrafted free agents we sign and the late 7th round picks. Unless we trade back and generate a ton of draft capital for round 4, 5, and 6. If we have more than 1 pick, then I might go live for the round 4 of the draft, but I don't see that happening right now. Woo! What a first round. What a first round. Lots of trades. More trades than people were expecting. Seattle's still on the clock. Lots of good players still available. CJ Allen, Emmanuel McNeil Warren, Avion Terrell, Cassius. I don't have a high grade on Cassius Howell. I have him actually as a late second round grade. Kaden McDonald, TJ Parker, Denzel Boston could go somewhere. Kristen Miller, I'm very high on. Lee Hunter, I'm very high on. Lots of good options. I really want the Bears to trade up at 42 if their players are available there. They'll be on the phones working it tonight. Man, look at that. That's who we got, guys. This right here is a Chicago Bear. Dylan Thieneman, overall 11th ranked player by PFF in this draft, is a Chicago freaking Bear. He can cover, defend the run, bring high-end athleticism. Wow. Dude, I am stoked. I am stoked about that. I can't believe that just happened. Woo! We just got a steal. Highway robbery is what we got. Hey, who did the Packers draft in the first? And you know Packers fans are hating that Dylan Thieneman fell to us. They absolutely hate it. They hate it right now. Do you believe in miracles? Oh, man, that's hard. I don't see any of those edges being there at 57 or 60. I don't see that at all. I think there will be a run on those edges. McDonald Miller, I think what you meant to say was Hunter. I don't see any of those players being available at 57. This is why I say I think we need to trade up. I don't see any of those 6 players being available at 57. Not one of them. Maybe Hunter. Maybe. That's why we need to trade up. That, to me, is why we got to trade up right there. I'm not a huge advocate of trading up either. You guys know that. But this is the year where I can see us doing it for a defensive tackle. Seattle's pick is in, and they've taken Jadarian Price. So it's done. Jadarian Price is a Seattle Seahawk, and the first round is over. Now we get to walk away, see what happens overnight, see if any trades, anything crazy happens, and I can see the Bears being involved in moving up and even potentially we'll see what happens here with Arizona. Arizona's got pick number 34, so they're second on the clock right there. What will they do? Crazy. If you're watching your TV, they're going to announce Jadarian Price right now. But this is the big news for us today. Dylan Thieneman shores up that secondary. Boom, baby.
This is a good deal, Jeff. This is a good deal for both of us.
It was a good deal getting Dylan Thieneman. I can see a trade happening. Let me end this poll. It's about split, guys. You're about 50-50 on this one. 55% trade up, 113 votes, 45% say hold. That's about as close as it gets. I will absolutely understand if they trade up. Understand it 100%. That's what we walk away with round 1. I absolutely give it an A++ grade. Dylan Thieneman falling to the Bears is phenomenal. I can't believe it happened. I feel like I'm in dream mode right now. With that, guys, we're 3 hours, 20 minutes long. First round is over. I'm going to log off. Spam FGB, Bear Down in the chat. Spam it. Let them know the Bears are back, baby. We're continuing to roll. And what a good first day of the draft. We'll be here with second round of the draft tomorrow. They'll fly by a little quicker, and hopefully the Bears make a move to get one of those defensive tackles. I need it. I need it like All right, guys. Appreciate you tuning in. Appreciate you being a part of the channel. Hit the like button if you haven't done that by now. We will see you tomorrow. Bear down.